Hello and welcome to my GTA Vice City Hardlined All Missions Guide. Firstly, I'd like to apologize before we get into things for this taking so goddamn long. I've been asked a million times about it, and every single time I've had to apologize. This Hardline guide was actually done, almost done, a while ago. Excuse me. It was very much in the later stages, and then once I was done with everything hardlined, but I was still in the process of making the guide, I stupidly deleted everything and was like, fucking screw this, I'm not gonna do this all again. But then over time, I took a couple of months off and did some other stuff, and then was like, oh, I probably should, actually make it. It's not anybody else's fault except mine that I stupidly deleted all the footage and stuff like that. So, yeah. Here we are, doing it all again. It's been about 8 months since a lot of this was recorded. So once again, I apologize. And also I apologize because I'm going to have to probably do a couple of takes to see what I'm actually doing, because it's been so long, I don't remember what the hell I was doing a lot of the time. But yeah, this is GTA Vice City Hardlined. It's a very difficult mod. It is full of luck, and you not only need to be an extremely skilled Vice City player to even have a chance at playing it at a reasonable level, but also you need to be extremely lucky and extremely persistent, because so many of the missions are so ridiculous that it's just basically luck whether you do it or not. 1 in 100 tries you'll pass it, even if you do it perfectly. As you can see at the top right, your armor and health and stuff have been completely capped, so you are maximum of 50 now. Even doing the pizza boys and stuff like that doesn't work. The only way that you can get more is by increasing it to 75 with a hooker, but I'm not going to be doing that during this playthrough. I'm going to be doing it, as quote-unquote intended as possible. Also, there's a couple of other things to mention. As you can imagine, like, all of the missions are modified to be way harder, but there are some extra mechanics that you can use to help yourself out. At any time, when you're on mission 0 and on foot, you can press PPP, as in the P key, 3 times on your keyboard, and it will bring up the save menu, so you can save anywhere, as long as you're not on a mission, of course. And it'll also fully heal you as well, which is really nice. So you can set up a save fully healed right next to a marker to give it multiple tries, because you will need multiple tries for a lot of this, okay? What else off the top of my head? The pain spray doesn't work. It does repair your vehicle, but it doesn't get rid of the wanted levels. And this mission, this mod loves to give you ridiculous wanted levels at all the worst times. So don't even bother trying to pain spray it. It doesn't work. I'm sure there'll be a lot more things, but obviously, it's been a while, so we'll have to go probably mission by mission and have a look. So yeah, let's move on to the first mission, shall we? Oh, one other thing while I'm messing around looking at the custom skin that you get for Tommy. So this is going to be completely cheat-free, glitch-free, fully intended, how to do it without any glitches or mods or exploits or anything. If you do want to, if you get to a certain mission following this guide and you go, okay, this is way too ridiculous, I can't be fucking bothered with this. Is there just a glitch that will allow me to just get through it really easily, or an exploit or something? The answer is probably yes. I do have a video of me speedrunning this mod and beating the entire thing in around 2 hours. I'll leave it in the description. Or you can also just look it up on YouTube. Look up English Ben, GTA Vice City, Hardline speedrun 2 hours or something. I think I called it beating Hardline in around 2 hours. Something like that. But yeah, so if you want to get into really easy exploits to just completely annihilate this mod and beat it really easily, then that's the video for you. But if you want to watch, you basically want to answer the question, is it possible to beat this mission? Sorry, I keep saying fucking mission. Ben, focus. Is it possible to beat this mod without exploits? Because a lot of people are saying it isn't. It absolutely is. It just takes a lot of dedication. So I'll show you as we go. Also, one final thing before I forget, there should be chapters along the bottom of the video, assuming that I remember to put them in the description. So if you want to skip to a particular mission, you can do. But for now, we're going to start on the party, first mission, doing it in a fairly logical order. The big difference here is there's 2 different things. Number 1, there's a lot of guys who come out of here with an admiral and attack you with guns. It's worth mentioning that, as with most of these hard mode mods, there's no pickups anywhere, aside from a really few specific places. So you want to get as many guns as you can, because unless you have money to buy them, which currently we don't, the only way to get them is from enemies. So if you do what I did here and you get a car to protect yourself, and you run these guys over, make sure to grab their guns because it will be useful later. If you get to a point where you don't have any weaponry and you're attempting a mission, you're likely going to really struggle. So yeah, kill everyone you can. Watch out for cops, of course. But yeah, and then the second part of the mission is that when you pick up Mercedes, you immediately get given a really strict time limit. As you can see, I beat it here with like less than a second, and obviously I'm a speedrunner, so, you know, not to stop being egotistical 5 minutes into the video or anything, but you need to be pretty quick, okay? So make sure you follow exactly what I do. Have a PCJ to be ready to pick her up, because you really need to floor it here. So Back Alley Brawl is if you were able to get through the party, then great, congratulations. Back Alley Brawl is so much worse, and it all goes downhill from here, let me tell you. There's nothing really going on while we're going to the Malibu and back, so when we get to the chef, I'll regroup with you. So as you can see, the chef is in a very different location here. And he is unbelievably tanky, and when you shoot him, he will get backups with sniper rifles. The sniper rifles are not mandatory, but if you can grab them, do so, but it's completely up to you. But yeah, this is what you'll need the MP5 for from the previous mission, because as you can see, this guy takes no damage whatsoever and starts running off. Watch out for the guys also chasing you. You can also come down here and get, I think it's a Python revolver and a Spaz 12 as well. But again, these guys, as you can see, they take a ton of damage. So you're using your already kind of limited resources. The Spaz 12 is there, but, it's up to you whether you want to try and get it. The Python is really good, as you can see, because you don't have to kill those guys. You just need to knock them over enough time to run and get the Spaz 12. So then you can shoot them both, knock them over, pick up the Spaz 12 and run. And then you can use cars for the rest of the damage. If you run somebody over in Vice City, you can do a ton of damage really quickly. Some, what are they called? Like enemies, objectives, whatever, as you can see. Usually in any regular game of Vice City, you would insta-kill somebody by running over them. But these guys have so much health or are immune to collisions that you don't actually do enough damage to kill them, as you can see, and they will absolutely slaughter you. So you need to be very careful with this on the way to killing the chef, and once you've even killed the chef, it's not gonna let up anytime soon. So as soon as you get control here, you need to book it for two reasons. Number one, there is going to be a group of guys here that start throwing Molotovs, and if they throw the Molotovs, Lance will run right in the direction of the Molotovs and instantly die from the damage. Number two, you actually want to pick up these Molotovs because it makes the next mission, Jury Fury, significantly easier. The same goes for these guys, kill them, because they will kill Lance if you're not careful. Katana isn't really mandatory. There'll be a couple of guys chasing you. I won't worry about them because they just have melee weapons, so I won't care too much. There is one guy that you do need to care about. There is a guy with a M4 around the corner, near to where Lance is chilling, and you're not only going to want to kill him to stop yourself getting wrecked, but you're also going to want to actually pick up the M4 as well. I'm super safe here killing these guys, trying to get as much ammo as I can. You can pick up, see the SMG and the revolver and stuff as well. You have 3 stars from the police, so you got to be quite careful. And there's another guy with the M4 there. Try and avoid getting arrested again. Lots of cops, as I said. But yeah, you definitely want as much M4 as you can. So make sure to grab as much of it as you can. The second guy with the M4 is here. You want to kill him and grab his gun as well. The M4, before we get like super overpowered and grabbing, a ton of really awesome weaponry later on, The M4 is going to be the absolute goat of this. Like, it's such a versatile weapon. It's so well-rounded. It's so good. So once you grab Lance, you want to head onto the grass here, because as you can see, there's actually guys chasing you. Not so much for that, but also for the cops. The cops can't come to you if you're away from like a road. So, you know, there's no like random cop spawns throwing spike strips at you. The cop cars can't get to you because you're not on a road. So you can use the grass as much as possible. And then once you get around this corner, there's going to be guys sort of guarding the ammunition with M4s. So you want to leave Lance a little far away, because as you see, the car's already quite damaged. Leave it quite far away and pick them off from a while away with the M4. There's a guy in the bushes, there's a guy on top of the roof as well. Make sure that you're quick though, because those guys with the Infernuses that we talked about before will be chasing you. And also there's the cops and stuff, so just make sure you're fairly quick on the killing these guys. As you can see, there they are. But once you've killed those guys, you're pretty much home free, assuming that you don't get shot to shit by the cops. Just simply drive back to the hotel and you're good to go. So next up is Jury Fury, and this is very much going to be one of those missions that's kind of like a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing, because I'm experimenting here, and a lot of the stuff that I experiment with doesn't really work. So as you can see, when you go to attack these vehicles, they have security guards that spawn, and they do a ton of damage. So as you can see, the reason why I told you to pick up those Molotovs is because these cars have a ton of health. This one might even be bulletproof, I think. But it's not fireproof, so you can throw 2 Molotovs at it and it'll do enough damage. As you can see here, I get absolutely slaughtered down to 2 health, so make sure that you don't do that. There's no point in parking a bike. That's something that I tried to do to stop the guys from spawning in and killing me. So you can do that, or the much easier way to do it, which I discovered after like giving this mission a few tries later on for the speedrun, is to just park a vehicle near where you are, lure the guard out, the juror out, and then just blow up the vehicle next to it, and it'll cause it to blow up as well. The exact same with this one. I end up ramming it with a 5-star wanted level, which is just atrocious. I got very lucky to not die here. I should have just been shot by the cops. So what I would do instead is don't interact with the juror's car or anything like at all. Like, don't try and break it or anything and trigger this section with the cops and him driving away and stuff. What I would do instead is, and what I've been doing in my speedruns and stuff, is you just run into the car to push it into the southern alleyway, like straight forward, like push the car straight forward into an alleyway. And then from there, you can remotely destroy it. It's not bulletproof, so you can just use like an M4 or the Molotovs or whatever to just set it on fire and destroy it, and that will count as mission passed. It'll be way easier than what I did here. So yeah, you'll be able to do this mission in like 30 seconds with very minor exploits. Oh, I actually show it even here. Even better. Wow, perfect. As you can see, it's been a long time since I put this footage together, but here you go. This is literally what I was just talking about. Push it in and destroy it. And then here, I think I have a minigun in the speedrun. Yeah, but you can literally use the M4 and get the same thing, but you can just blow it up, and there you go, problem solved. I wonder, do I show myself doing the other one as well? I'm literally reacting to my own produced footage real time. Yep, there it is, I do. Brilliant. Yeah, so this one, I think I even messed up in the speedrun. I didn't mean to bonk here and spawn the guards, but it's the same idea, you get the idea. You drag away the juror so he doesn't die to the explosion, and then yeah, just blow up your vehicle next to it, and that's it. Mission passed. Very easy. Much easier than the original time, trust me. So now we're on to Riot. This mission is extremely trivial. The next couple actually are, which is brilliant. I first tried all of these on my first time, which is, as you'll see later, it's very rare that I first try missions in this mod. This is probably like these are probably like 3 of like 5 that I did ever, you know, and there's like 50 missions in this game. So yeah, here the idea is that you need to start fighting with a bunch of guys, but they will destroy you because they have guns. But the developer removed the explosive barrels, which stops you from, blowing them up easily. But you can still just shoot the vans through the fence. I guess the developer tried their best to stop you exploiting the missions, but I guess they just didn't know about this really easy exploit in Riot. But yeah, you can just use your pistol ammo or whatever, use your weakest gun, and just blow up the vans. That's it. You can skip the whole mission. So next up is T-Swine, another very trivial mission. There isn't really much to say about this one. The footage kind of speaks for itself. But basically there's just a couple of extra guards. They might not even be extra, I don't actually remember. It's been so long. But it's just like basically a slightly more difficult Gonzalez fight with more guards. They have like M4s, I think, instead of regular weapons. But yeah, you can still just walk up and just slaughter them. It's not really a challenge at all. Yeah, as you can see, I just did the speedrun strat and just sprinted at Gonzalez, chainsawed him. Maybe he's like more immune to bullets, I don't know, but the chainsaw absolutely destroys him. And then yeah, I just killed everybody else. I don't think they dropped their guns. Maybe these guys do at the bottom. The hitboxes are kind of a bit AIDS. I don't remember. But yeah, you can just leave if you want to. It's completely up to you. Oh, they do drop their M4s. There you go. So yeah, farm a bit of M4 ammo and then off you go. Very, very easy mission. I think the only difference is as well, I think you get a higher wanted level when you leave. Oh, no, you don't. It tells you the opposite. You don't get a wanted level at all, so you can just get on the bike and pass the mission. There you go. Even easier than what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, more Shootout is next. More Shootout is also quite trivial, so let's make some progress. No mind, I lied. We're doing Roadkill. I kind of forgot this mission existed. Luckily, this mission is also quite trivial. The difference is that you'll see it. It's quite funny. There's a big group of deliveries being all made at the same time. So as you can see at the top right, they're being delivered like 4 at a time instead of 1. But you can just go and slaughter them. You have more than enough ammo and stuff at this point. It should only probably take you a few tries. I think I first tried this one as well. So yeah, keeping with the trend of easy missions, which is good because it's going to change very soon. So next up is 4 Iron, the first Avery mission. This one is also quite simple. All that you need to do is basically know of a good way to get your bike into the golf course while also not triggering the marker first. So what I've done there is I've done a little kind of trick to like bounce up to keep my bike in leaf links, and then also making sure that I can run back and trigger the marker because I need to go through the marker to actually get through to the golf course. But then I also need a vehicle to kill this guy reasonably quickly. So you lose all your weapons there. Obviously, you can smuggle weapons in if you want to, but I find this way quicker and easier. All you do is run around, grab your bike, and you've got your chainsaw. Send the bike down and kill this guy before he can even think to, react to you and stuff. So that's my strategy. You're welcome to smuggle some weapons in if you like, but I don't think it's particularly necessary. The guy does have quite a lot of health. As you can see, he should die. He takes like twice as long to die. But ultimately, the chainsaw is so busted, it really doesn't matter. You can kill these guys with some pistol ammo if you want, but it's so minimal. Doesn't really make a difference. All right, next up is Demolition Man. This is a a classic mission usually, but it's not too bad in this one. The main changes are that you have the RC Goblin. As you can see, me already almost eating shit using it. It's very sensitive, so you can't lean, you know, too far, otherwise you'll just flip and blow yourself up. Like you can with the, whatever the other one's called, I don't remember. And the other thing, as you can see, is there are these guys driving around in baggage handlers, and these are the new bomb targets. Luckily, they don't drive like randomly or anything, so it's not nearly as hard as it could be. They drive in like a fixed path, so as soon as you see one drive a certain way, you can just kind of wait for them to come round in their cycle, and then you can just drop each of the 4 bombs, stay away from the guys that are, you know, or kill them or whatever. As you can see, you just drop them right there, and they stop, and then do the same on each floor. There are some guys with upgraded weapons, I think, upstairs from vague memory, but you can just kill them with the blades, and then focus on dropping the targets nice and easy. Alright, next up is Mole Shootout, and you can actually do the speedrun strat and kill this guy right away, but even if you don't, if you just choose to get in his car instead, flashing lights warning by the way, there's a couple of explosions here that are kind of bold, to say the least, as you can see. Yeah, very harsh, but as you can see, you can literally just get in the car and stop him. I assume the idea of this is that he's going to drop bombs while you're supposed to chase him in the cheetah, but you can either kill him before he even gets there, or just simply, watch out for the cops again, classic. Or just simply steal the car and let all the detonations go off at once, and then once they're done, and then you can just drive off with the cheetah or grab whatever vehicle you came with. Nice and easy. Alright, next up is Guardian Angels. This is a mission that you might be doing quite a few times. I mean, it might be like the first like kind of big obstacle that you might get walled on for a little bit. It's not too bad, but it can be pretty tough. But I'll give you the best strategy I can. So the difference here is that when you start the deal, not only are Lance and Diaz going to have less health as well, which is kind of whatever, but also there's going to be a helicopter dropping guys off. And if you leave them, they have M4s and they will just insta-kill Diaz or Lance pretty much. So you've got to kill these guys all the time. So what I do is, as you can see, I go here and I equip my assault rifle and I stand just in front of Lance because this is where one guy is going to spawn. There's 2 different spawn points. And what I do is when he spawns in, I just right click to like zoom in the rifle and just tap him, you know, just like kill the guys and then kill the guys in between and then go back to killing the guys again. And there's also a spawn downstairs. You can twist the M4 here, by the way, as well. But as you can see, there's also a spawn of extra guys there as well, sort of down to the bottom left. There's the helicopter there. So yeah, you want to just keep an eye on killing that guy and killing the guy that keeps spawning in front of you as well to make sure he doesn't kill Lance. The other guys, there's one guy that comes from the van there that shoots Lance from behind, but he's a regular enemy. He doesn't have like a big gun or he isn't super accurate or anything. So you should be fine in order to deal with him. But just make sure you keep on top of those 2 M4 spawns as a priority, because those are the guys that will laze you, as you see. Like I left that guy for a few seconds and he almost killed me. So got to be very, very careful, kill these guys. And then once everybody is dead, it doesn't actually matter how many of these guys with the, you know, these guys that you kill. All that matters is just that you kill, you know, the regular enemies. That's all it's checking for. You know, you're just trying not to fail the mission with the other one. So here you need to use this Faggio that has a popped front tire, because of course it does, to chase down the goons. But if you chase them normally through the alleyway, they will like drop bombs and kill you. So what you need to do instead is head around. You can either go straight west or you can go through this little alleyway here, floor it down the side, and then you need to snipe the guys off before they get to this helicopter. I believe, I don't know, because I always kill them all anyway, but I believe the only guy that matters is the guy who has the briefcase with the yellow marker. But either way, you don't have a lot of time, so you need to send it all the way down here. You'll see the helicopter where they escape. If they get there, you fail. And then you need to line up and just kill all of them, ideally, because then they don't, you know, bomb you. But once you've done that, then great job, because you can just drive back. You've done one of the trickiest missions in the early game. You just grab the briefcase, head back. Good job. So next up is the chase. This one really isn't too bad. You can use the speedrun strategy here, which I'll show you. But the biggest difference is that it uses apartment, what's it called? 3C, I think it is. The one with the Easter egg in it. And it uses that instead. So we're going to be heading there rather than heading to the northern side of the eastern island. But you can use the speedrun strat exactly the same. The speedrun strat is basically you throw the driver out of the BF injection, and then when the gunner is trying to get in, you can block the driver side with a door so he doesn't hijack you, and make sure that you're accelerating and you've got some movement speed just as he gets in, and he'll get in the passenger seat instead. So as soon as you get control, just go here. Instead of grabbing some wheels, grab the guy, throw him out, and then just head to this little bit here, block the door, drive away, and as you can see, it just gets in the passenger side. It's a really easy trick. You can use this in vanilla as well. Skip the whole chase sequence, which is really nice. And then you can just drive him straight to the destination. Make sure that you drive him on the west, because if you drive him on the east side of the island, he'll actually take over. It's not a big deal because he will take over the controls and still drive you to the destination, but it means that it'll take a lot longer. For Waste the Wife, I don't actually remember what's different with the mission. I'm gonna have to look it up if it's anything interesting, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty normal. The big thing is that you want to use the BF that you had from the last mission because it's really heavy, so you can use it to just bully the lady and push her around. Alright, on to the big boys. So, this mission is bullshit. I'm just going to tell you straight up. It's one of the most horrific in the game. To start off with, I've cut this out because, you know, of course I'm going to save your ears. But there is some horrific audio in this mission. You're not going to hear it on this, but it is absolutely atrocious, trust me. So what you need to do is you need to command an RC plane. Well, you're not the one commanding it. You're just like in turret mode in it. And you're using a revolver to shoot all of these guys down while some really horrific like walkie-talkie, fucking ear rape, really loud stuff plays in your ears. It's atrociously designed. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking making this. Also, when you, for some reason in this mod, my DPI was completely messed up. I had to play this on like 100 DPI. I usually play Vice City on 800 for reference. So you might need to switch around with your mouse settings a little bit to get this to work properly because it just doesn't work at all. But yeah, the revolver is really annoying. You can only hit certain shots at certain times. As you can see, this guy, you only get a certain amount of time to shoot him before he leaves your range. Same with this guy as well. So you have to really pick your shots and really be careful. And you need enough health to get through the... This section is already tricky enough, but the section with the barrels later on the roof is really tough. You have to like be really, really quick, otherwise you'll just get destroyed. So as you can see, I've made this look way easier than it is. Like I did this for like an hour of attempts before I even got here. So yeah, we take out the first 3 segments. That's already going to take some practice. But then the 4th segment here, you only get like a matter of frames to shoot each guy before the roof blocks your shots, as you'll see here, because of the horrendous camera. As you can see, that's like blocking them for the entire roof, and then you go and shoot them, and you've just got to try and shoot the barrels. That's like the only way to get like decent kills, as you see there. Trying to shoot them individually is just not going to happen. You want to go for the barrels and then clean up. But as you can see, I'm like, you're aiming. It's hard to describe unless you do this mission. But once you do it, if you end up following along with this and you're not just watching it, you'll understand what I mean. But yeah, it's just absolutely horrific. The controls are so bad. But it gets better, right? So you do all of this section and you're like, oh my God, thank God I'm done. And then you fall out of the RC Baron and you're injured, quote unquote, and you are on 2 HP and you've got to clear out all of the guys without getting hit once. And as you can imagine, yep, there's more of them. And yes, they have a ton more fucking, accuracy and they're a lot more buffed. So yeah, these guys you don't actually have to kill all of them. I did on this attempt, but on my future attempts I didn't have to. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, as you can see, I'm actually unmuting the game here so I can actually concentrate because I had it muted during the entire previous section. But yeah, here you see you got 2 HP. You can use whatever weapons you like, but if you run too far away, you'll actually fail. because you've like abandoned it or whatever. So you have to fight with 2 HP. You can't heal without glitches or anything. There's no health near the fountain. So you've got to actually go and take these guys out. Again, if you have Molotovs, this will help you quite a lot. Because you can actually use it to throw a Molotov like near a wall and you can kill people through the wall from the spread damage. Now, I will say, if you get to this mission, and again, as I said all the way at the start, if you're like, this is too fucking stupid, I can't be bothered with this, you can really cheese this mission and make it 10 times easier with glitches and exploits. So I'd recommend checking out my speedrun of this, where I beat it in 2 hours, and I'll show you exactly how to make this mission 10 times easier. But yeah, if you're doing it legit like I am, the only way that you can slowly pick your way through is just literally walk backwards and forwards like I am, trying to get people in your camera, trying to figure out where people are, and just pray to God that they don't shoot you, because some people are in positions where you can't get the jump on them. Like, you can't attack them until they can attack you. So yeah, as you can see, I'm using a couple of Molotovs here to clear out the closer walls, because otherwise you would need to run in and potentially eat a shot before you're able to actually attack them. You can't attack first, you have to get hit, which is obviously really terrible design, but that's hardlined for you. So yeah, just go slow, pick people off, and yeah, do your best. That's all I can say. So once I cleared everything out, I'm just skipping forward a little bit here, because I actually went up to the roof and sort of slowly cleared through all the corners and stuff, but there's nothing up there. You want to be coming through here instead. So I'll save you watching me doing that for like a minute and a half. So instead, what you want to do is come out onto this front bit, and you can actually... There's nothing here, Ben. But obviously I don't know that when I'm doing it at the time. But there's a couple more guys around this corner, and this is where the briefcase is. Once you've killed these guys around the corner, that's it. You can just pick up the briefcase, and that's mission done. If you get through this mission, you can do anything, trust me, because this mission is ridiculous. So if you made it through this, you're on track to beat any mission. So yeah, congratulations, you've earned it.
Who is this? What? Okay.
I see you soon.
Excuse me.
Sure, I guess.
If there's more to this mission, I'm going to be so upset. We're done. Holy fuck. So for 2-bit hit, there's actually no clothes in store, which is great. So, excuse me. You just need to use the Cuban gang car instead. But we're not going to worry about any of that. This is ideal if you still have some Molotovs left over from before. But if you don't, it's not a big deal. Oh, excuse me. If you only picked up 4 and you used all 4 on like Jury Free and Back Alley Brawl or whatever, it's not a big deal. Instead, just grab some grenades. You can buy them from like, you know, ammunition or whatever. Or if you just want to come back later, you can do this mission later on. The order doesn't really matter. But you just want to throw something over to not only trigger the guy by you throwing something at him, but then also you can't fit through there, Ben. There's no chance you would fit that car through there. But then also kill him as well. If you just like, you know, go up and shoot him, then there's a good chance you'll fail the mission because you need to like trigger the guys first before killing them. Otherwise you haven't like crashed the funeral, you just murdered somebody, right? Either way, once you're done, head out of Little Haiti, and nice and easy mission. Alright, if you enjoyed Phnom Penh, you sick twisted individual, if you like that kind of garbage, then you are gonna absolutely adore the fastest boat, because this mission is also horrendous. It's kind of split into two sections. The first one isn't too bad. It's a massive shootout at the docks in order to get to the lever. The only thing that you gotta watch out for is just really keep your distance, because these guys will fucking slaughter you if you get too close. Also, when you first start attacking, you'll get a big wanted level, and the cops can like really swarm you really quickly. So I'd recommend being as quick as possible, but you know, quick and efficient, but also safe. So keep your distance. Even if they don't have markers above them like that, you need to kill every single gang member here before you can get to the marker. So just get yourself nice and involved, kill any cops that spawn behind you. They will keep spawning infinitely, so you don't have to wipe them all out, but I just kill the first wave of them. And then focus on the gang members. The same as when you go towards the lever section, just watch for any cops. If you kill enough people, you can get 4 stars, which then means the SWAT come after you, which are even more dangerous. So just keep an eye on that. But in the second part is where things get really, really interesting. So, ultimate swerve, once you pull the lever, it's actually the wrong one. It's the Jetmax that is levered down, and you actually need the Squallow instead. So now, this is where it gets fun. So, the Squallow has been taken by a gang burrito, and you need to take it out. It has an unbelievable amount of health before it will stop, and if it gets to Prawn Island, you fail the mission. Now, Lance is with you, and he's going to drive you over there. And as you can see, Lance is stuck in the top of the car. The problem is that you can't exit the car, so you're pretty much entirely reliant on drive-bys and Lance shooting. But Lance being stuck in the car is a massive problem, because like 50% of the time he'll actually slow you down because you'll like collide with him. Luckily he is very accurate. And also you have the Voodoo and also the other guy, the Cuban dude in the Cuban Hermes, and he will also shoot at the burrito as well. So they're actually helping you. So what you want to do is you can either do two things. Number one is you can do what I'm doing here, and you can kind of keep parallel to them and just drive by them as much as you can. Or you can do the second option, which is kind of what I'm doing now, which is doing your best to pit maneuver them to keep stunning them, because ultimately you're on a time limit until they get to their destination, right? So the more damage you can do, whether it be letting them get to their destination but doing damage, or trying to spin them out and stop them getting there, the better. Now, their scare meter on the top right is actually just their massive health bar once you've done a certain amount of damage. But as you can see, it's a ludicrous amount of damage that you have to do. So this will take a lot of tries. It is very luck-based, sadly, because it ultimately depends on how well the AI do. You can't just do it by yourself, really. Also, as I say, you've got 3 stars as well. Pain spraying does nothing, so that's a real pain in the ass as well. And as soon as you get... the boat also, when it gets stuck, gets flung into the air because physics, I guess. But yeah, once the thing comes down and the boat stops moving, which means that you can get into the van, as you can see here, you need to be very careful. Get out and get in that van as soon as possible and drive the fuck away, because Lance will just leave, and those guys who are your teammates now are now attacking you, and they will kill you so fast if you're out there. So you need to be very careful. They're going to chase your ass down. I'd recommend using first-person camera, because you can't really see anything with the boat otherwise, but you need to get the boat into the water now without dying. So the easiest way to do that is to find the nearest patch of water and then bail out of the car when you are about to hit the water, and it will send the car in, but obviously you don't need the car anymore, and then it will detach the boat as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually head all the way down south to where there is a section, because if you look on the left here, there is water, but there's also a load of blocks, right? There's like ledges, so you can't do it, like walls and stuff. But if you go all the way down south, there is no longer a ledge there. So you can drive all the way down this road. You can stick to the grass if you want to avoid the cops and stuff, but ultimately it's not too bad. And as soon as you go to about here, the wall stops, and then you can reset your camera, get a little run up, and then just bail out. And then that will give you the boat available that you can jump into. Obviously, just don't make sure you don't send it too far, because then you've actually got to jump and actually land in the boat and get into it, right? And then once you're there, you can just send it to the marker. This looks very easy, but trust me, it is not. It is a fucking awful mission. So again, if you've made it through, congratulations. So supply and demand isn't too bad, but it has a really long cutscene here where there's like a lot of like lol funny XD loud dialogue again. But the big thing is there's two things. So the first one is there are a ton of bombs in the water. So if you drive like the regular route, you'll just get insta-killed from the bombs, because lol insta-kills are funny, that you need to avoid. And number two, if you take the speedrun route, there will actually be a shark attack that will also insta-kill you. So what you can do is you can drive and avoid all the bombs, but as you can see, they're very difficult to spot. So it basically just becomes trial and error of learning where they are, which isn't particularly fun. Or what you can do, that I'll show you in a little bit, is you can actually head a different route that's slightly faster, but also slightly slower than the regular speedrun route. So it's kind of like a backup speedrun route that the dev didn't really think about. The problem is that going that way, there's no bombs or no shark attack or anything, so it is much easier, and I definitely recommend it. But you may need to get the route down like ahead of time and practice it a little bit, because it's really tight, the timing, in order to make it there. Because as you can see, you don't have a lot of time. You have like 30 seconds on a good day, which is not a lot of time. But either way, I'll show you that later on. But the actual shootout is, I think, exactly the same. I haven't recognized anything different. I've never failed it, so the shootout is super easy. The bombs are still in the water, but you don't hit them now because Lance is driving, so therefore you don't hit them, I guess. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but basically the only difficult part is right at the start. So we'll cut through to the end of the sequence. Apologies about so many cuts, but this video is long enough as it is. It's probably going to be minimum 3 hours, if not 4 or 5. I don't know how long it's going to be. Obviously, you'll see on YouTube. But yeah, so mission done, all well and dandy, fantastic. Now I'll quickly show you the speedrun way, which I would strongly recommend doing. It's not a big exploit or anything. So yeah, all that you need to do as soon as you gain control, you just head straight north. And usually on the first right turn that's available to you, just after this one, you would head that way. But that's where the shark attack is. So what instead you do is you go north and west around. So you see this big island ahead of us. You want to go west around it. I take like a slightly inefficient route here, but this proves that you can do it even with a slightly inefficient route. And you go around here, and then that takes you to the boat anyway. But you just got to make sure that you have enough time, because as you'll see, I get there with barely any time to spare. So Sayas isn't too bad. All we need to do is we need to get Cortez into the tank. If you like shoot out the gunner or whatever you were doing speedruns here or whatever casual play, park your bike in front or let them go to the donut shop, whatever, blah blah blah. If you actually get in this here, it'll just self-destruct and explode and kill you immediately. So what you need to do is you need to get them to stop first of all. So the easiest way to do that is to just shoot the gunner, as you see here. And then you need to have Cortez run in like that. Be very careful that he doesn't get stuck. And then when Cortez enters the tank, you need to make sure that you keep your distance immediately. You need to escort Cortez to make sure that he gets into the garage, so you can't go too far away. But at the same time, he's in a tank, he'll mostly be fine. But all that you need to do is make sure that you survive, because the army guys will come after you, and you also get 5 stars. So you get all these army guys coming after you, as you can see, and then also you get the 5-star police on you as well. So regarding the police, there isn't much you can do about the army guys, but for the police especially, make sure that you stay around, off the roads, because the FBI and the police and the Miami Vice guys and everything, they can't actually like really come after you unless you're like near a road, right? Because they can't like spawn on the grass or anything, and they don't have like driving paths on the grass either. So if you come like here where I am, for example, here, you are completely untouchable. And obviously we know that Cortez is driving to the garage anyway, where the mission would usually pass. So we can just chill on top of this rooftop and wait for him to get there. And then the only thing to do at the end is pick him up, which is obviously kind of risky with 5 stars, but it's not too bad. Pick him up and then drive back, take him back to the pier. Nice and easy. So for Stunt Boat Challenge, this is mostly a kind of trial and error kind of memorization test. There's going to be a lot of people that are like planted on certain parts of the golf course where you're going to be driving your boat through. And you need to deal with them basically, because if you just drive past them, they'll shoot you and blow you up. So you've got quite a strict time limit. You've got to do all the checkpoints within 3 minutes and also not die. So the easiest way is to have a weapon like an M4 or something. You can always come back if you don't have the right weapons. But yeah, once you get to a certain place where you'll see there's a first guy here on the right hand side, just get out the boat. Make sure that you're not going too fast when you get out the boat, because otherwise you'll get hit with the boat, if that makes sense. Like Tommy will fall over because the boat collides with him. It's kind of weird. But you get the point. And then just like snipe them or M4 them. Sniper rifle is probably better. I'm just watching myself do this now back in, real time. Sniper is 100% the way to go. Yeah, and just slowly pick them off as you go. There isn't really too much to this one. But obviously I won't speed through it because you need to know where the people spawn. So I'll just leave this in and see you at the end. So Juju Scramble is up next, and I would heavily recommend having a helicopter at this point, because the big twist here is that the helicopter is coming along and is going to nuke these briefcases, like drop a bomb on top of them, literally. So if you don't get to them really, really quick, and the timer is very tight, like this is why I'm using the helicopter to get up and around the buildings quickly. Yeah, if you don't do it within enough time, then they get destroyed and you fail. So you only have a certain amount of time. This will take a little bit of time to figure out where they are. This took me quite a few tries. And also with the police as well, they can be a pain in the ass. There's one later on that's like behind a pizza restaurant, which is really fucking annoying because it also has like people there as well. So you need to like throw a grenade in ahead of time and take out the guys that are like spawned behind the corner and then get in and get out before the bomb hits. It's a real pain in the ass. But yeah, this is just, memorization and just trying to be as quick as possible. The helicopter is heavily recommended for the first couple, and then I believe I parked a PCJ near Phil's place. I want to say you'll see it in a minute. This one afterwards goes to near Phil's place now, and I had a PCJ parked nearby as well. Bear in mind that you can only have 2 maximum vehicles in your possession before you start despawning them. So the helicopter and the PCJ, that's all you can have. You can't have extra stuff, otherwise other things will start despawning. Let me see here. Yeah, I parked the PCJ there. There we go. And then use that for these ones. Because PCJ is actually faster than the helicopter on the ground, as long as you're going for ground targets, right? Like, you can't go up on a roof really quickly. You can also use a cool little bail-off strategy there to bail off the bike quickly. Throw the grenade, because there's guys, as you can see there, spawned around the corner. Get in, get out. And then hopefully don't have your PCJ knocked away from you like I did. So this won't happen to you, obviously. It only ever happens to me, obviously. But yeah, now you've got significantly less time that you probably won't, you'll probably have more time. So just send yourself. If you feel like you're running behind, just fling the bike like this. Get on, all that matters, as you saw, is getting the briefcase before the bomb explodes. Because the bomb landed there, I was literally frames away from failing the mission because of the cop knocking my bike into next week. But as long as you just bail off and pick up the briefcase, then you can deal with getting on the bike later, right? That's the most important thing. So yeah, there's the last couple, and then just get your ass back to the hideout. So for Bombs Away, this one isn't too bad at all. Juju Scramble is way worse. So if you got through that, you can get through all these missions. Bombs Away, the big thing is that the bombs, you don't drop them from the bottom of the plane that you use. You have to kamikaze them instead. And you get 5 RC planes, I think it is. We'll see on the right hand side in a second. But yeah, you only get so many planes, so you have to make your shots count, basically. I think I actually destroyed my first one here trying to figure out what was going on. Trying to figure out the controls and stuff, because it was like, oh, you drop a bomb, but you don't actually drop a bomb, you just explode, as you'll see in a second. Yeah, you just blow up. So, if that gives you any sense of how not bad this is, you can literally fail the first one, not blow up anything, and still do everything else just fine. You're just going to make sure that you take out the car on the right hand side, because that'll drive away, and then deal with the boats last. The boats are way faster, but you can catch them because they just patrol around in like a circle, basically. But yeah, obviously, ideally, 1 plane explosion per vehicle. It's like 1 for the car, a couple for the boats, and you'll be sound. There isn't really too much to this one. So Dirty Lickins is pretty good, as you can see. Usually there's a fair fight here, but instead it's just one Haitian versus all the Cubans. So the Cubans still cheat, they still bring weapons and stuff, so you still need to prioritize them. But the important thing is that you kill all of these Cubans before they kill the Haitian. The Haitian can take a beating, as you can see. But yeah, so just prioritize headshots. I think these guys might take more than one bullet if you don't shoot them in the head. But you want to crit them, so like arms and legs, things like that. If you shoot them in the torso, they might take more than one bullet, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, once you've cleared out this first set of guys, these last set of guys, you want to prioritize the guys with the katanas because they do a ton more damage. But yeah, this one isn't too bad and it only takes like a minute or so. So for cannon fodder, you need a 4-door vehicle first of all. It's kind of a pain in the ass to find them around here. I don't know if this is a fixed spawn. I don't remember. So check this place. If there isn't one, then you can just find like a greenwood or something or a perennial. You're not going particularly far, so it doesn't really matter too much. So this mission is a massive meme. Usually what happens in vanilla is there are certain like targets or like objectives that you have to do, and until you do them, the enemies are infinite. So for example, here you need to blow up this stinger, and if you don't blow up the stinger, then infinite enemies will spawn. But now, even if you blow up the stinger, seemingly infinite enemies spawn, as you can see. I'm just killing this guy over and over again. But in reality, I don't know exactly how it's coded, but if you keep killing them, eventually they'll stop spawning. So I think the intended thing is that there's just a really high number of spawns and you've just got to keep killing them. I think I remember counting like 30 spawns or something ridiculous. So what I did was I just hid myself from the other 3 guys and just kept camping this spawn over and over again with a python, as you can see. And once you've done enough shots, then you'll be able to progress. So as soon as you gain control here, you need to haul ass and run the hell away, because these guys have extremely accurate weapons, and there's also guys behind you, as you can see. So I throw a grenade at them. You don't have to, but just shoot them and kill them, basically. Grab their guns. You know, M4s are always very good. And then the van that you need to steal is actually on the inside. I tried to look to see if I could like go round to see where it was, but it's actually on the inside of the building. So you need to fight your way through. And you also have 5 stars, so you need to deal with random cops as well, which is great. So just be very, very careful. If you hear any spawns behind you, take them out. And then just slowly use the wall as cover and pick off these dudes. as you go, and then fight your way through to the building and then get that van the hell out of there. Once you pick your time, just go, because these guys will keep coming out. So just clear out as many as you can and then just go for it. It might take a couple of tries, but obviously if you try and fight these guys infinitely, eventually you'll just slowly die, because they just massively outgun you, no matter what you have. Like, these guys are programmed to have like ridiculous AI. So as you can see, I got a couple of them distracted, and just fucking hold ass for it. Just leave if you can. Drive by anyone's past you, get the hell out. One of them throws me out, which is unfortunate, but I can kill him like right as soon as I gain control. If you're ever stood close to anybody like that, as you can see, sometimes you can't shoot them in third person. So what I do is I pull out a gun that I can aim in first person with, like the M4, and I hold aim to actually go into first person mode. And then even if you're in like melee distance, you can shoot people, whereas otherwise you wouldn't be able to because you're like too close to them. So that's just a little thing. If you get thrown out of a car like that and then there's somebody about to shoot you, pre-equip, like while you're getting up, you can pre-equip a gun that you can aim in with, sniper rifle, assault rifle, that kind of thing, and then just go into first person immediately and shoot them down before they can shoot you. So Death Row is up next. Death Row is quite a slog, but you have a ton of time to do it. So just keep that in mind. Like, this isn't a race against time by any means. I would recommend on pulling up on a with a helicopter on a building like I did here, because all of these guys are very accurate and will destroy you very quickly. And there's also helicopters and stuff that spawn in, which do a ton of damage as well. So what you can do is you can slowly pick everybody off from a distance, and then you'll be able to see the helicopter and stuff coming in, and you'll be able to fight them from range. So you can use these buildings to your advantage. If you just go straight into the compound, you'll get annihilated, because there are like car traps that are really weird. Once you like trigger them, they run you over at like 300 miles an hour, and they basically insta-kill you. So these helicopters are kind of a pain in the ass to take down, but what you can do is you can just stay out of their range and snipe them. The sniper rifle is really good at DPS, as long as you're not trying to do like, quick damage, like fight or be killed kind of thing. So as long as you don't mind like a kind of slow burner, you can just shoot this thing like 10 times with a sniper rifle and it'll blow up, which is really, really good, because then you take no damage basically, right? So yeah, the kind of like narrative of this is that the place where you find Lance, as you saw before, has like a gate blocking it, and you need to go on the top where the switch is, where the yellow blip is on the map, and actually free him. And to do that, you need to clear out like most of the compound, logically. So as you see, I'm going up here as well. Any of these vantage points are good with a helicopter, and that's where you want to be across on the other one. That's where you can unlock Lance. You know what I mean? Unlock the gate. But there are quite a few enemies up there, so don't just throw yourself in without picking a few off. I've done this a few times, and you can take damage very easily trying to YOLO it, so just keep that in mind. If you do lose your helicopter here, it's not the biggest deal. It doesn't really matter too much, because as I see, Lance's health is going down so slowly that it really doesn't matter. But ideally you keep it because it's useful for the next section, but you can always get another one. Doesn't make too big of a difference. So yeah, this is the reason why it's a slog. Lance getting kidnapped a second time in the same mission. But all I did in that little cut there was I went and sprinted over to the ammunition, which is just to the northeast. You can see it on the map, just to get some more armor and stuff, because there's a couple of guys well hidden here in the bushes and things like that. So just make sure to pick everyone up before you can go and pick up Lance. As I say, there's people in the bushes, so watch out for that. You can head down and fight your way through. As I say, you've got like infinite armor waiting for you at the ammunition, as long as you don't get comboed out. Once you've cleared everyone out, then you can go and get Lance a second time, and then go and get your helicopter or drive him or whatever, it doesn't matter, and just get him to the other hospital down at the southern side. Hello and welcome to one of the worst missions in the game. Along with Phnom Penh, Autocide, Naval Engagement, and this, it's probably like top 5 worst. There's a lot of bad missions in this game, in this mod as well, so yeah. Right, so Lance glued the pistol's handle. You're going to be stuck with it, which is great. So you're stuck with a pistol. Awesome. Not ideal. Also, if you go to the front of the mansion and try any shenanigans there, you'll be insta-killed because Diaz will snipe you. So instead, head out onto the road, get a vehicle. Fuck Lance off, you don't need him. Go to the golf course at Leaf Links because I'm going to show you a little exploit to get rid of that pistol. So when you enter a... I don't know why I said that. When you enter a... what is it called? Like a security thing at the airport... they also have them at the golf clubs, like a metal detector. It automatically strips you of your weapons. And the way that it's coded with the pistol is that check for the pistol, like, even if you try and switch your weapon away, if you have the pistol in your inventory, it'll switch back to the pistol. However, if you go into this little security scanner thing, you'll get rid of the pistol, as you can see, and it allows you to use your weapons. As long as you don't pick up that pistol again from the security scanner, so you can pick up all your other weapons, grab all your other weapons except the pistol, and then you'll never have to switch back to the pistol again. You can use all your weapons. Also, I'd very much recommend a golf caddy as well while you're here. You see, I'm grabbing all the weapons apart from the pistol on the right hand side. But yeah, also grab a golf caddy. This will be very useful right now. What we're going to do is we're going to drive all the way through because Lance actually has grenades. So if you just walk in the back with Lance, like doing it the intended way, Lance will try and fight people, and he'll throw grenades at them, and it's in a close quarters corridor shooter style thing. He'll just get himself killed, or you killed, or whatever. Like, he'll throw a grenade at the floor and blow you both up, which is great. So instead, what I do is I use the golf caddy to be able to drive through the rooms, and Lance can't attack with his grenades if he's in the vehicle, right? And then what you can do when you need to get to the bit where you can't take the golf caddy any further, basically, is you can just like gently run him over to get him stuck underneath. And then you can go through. So here you like get teleported weirdly. So you just have to do like a burnout to spin. And as you see, I fight and Lance is kind of stuck for now. And then we bring the golf caddy in. It takes a little while, but this is like the way that I found to stop Lance dying. If he is still stuck underneath, like if you keep him stuck underneath the golf caddy and then go and trigger this next section with Diaz, you'll fail the mission because Lance will die. So what you need to do is you need to get him stuck and then come and unstick him. As you see, he almost threw a grenade there and got himself killed. So you got to be very careful. But yeah, back him up. When he's stuck under there, he doesn't take damage or anything, but he also can't fight back. And now you can clear out all of these guys and then come back for Lance in a second. So once you've cleared out this room, do not enter Diaz's office until you've got Lance with you. So go back and get him unstuck. And now, if you were wondering, oh, this mission doesn't seem too bad, we're going to fight Diaz here and that'll be the end of it. This is why it is completely AIDS. So Diaz escapes. He must be on the rooftop. You go up to the rooftop, and then he flies away in a helicopter, and you fall off the roof and get injured. So from now on, for the next 2 sections, there's 2 more sections of this mission. 3, actually. I would kind of count it as 3. But yeah, so he flies off in the helicopter. There's this whole cinematic thing. And you jump off. And from now on, your health is slowly depleting all the time. And if you sprint or jump, I think, it depletes even faster. So you can't sprint and you can't jump. And if you're wondering if it's like, oh, can I press the key but not actually jump? Like, can I press shift inside of a vehicle? No, if you press your sprint key or your jump key, your health will be atrocious. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So now we need to go and Lance abandons us for some reason. So now we need to grab a vehicle and follow Diaz downtown and go and chase him. I forgot to mention as well, there's going to be a couple of people chasing you that you'll see in a second here, but they're not really a threat. I wouldn't really worry too much about them because we're going to get a helicopter anyway, so we're going to be up in the sky. So just head straight north. Diaz is in downtown, as you can see there. There's no point in trying to fight him or anything like that right now. All he does is he's scripted to fly in circles. So instead, we're going to get a VC and heli, and we're just going to kind of wait around until he goes to his next segment. Right, so once you're through here, now is the next stage. It keeps getting worse. So now we need to fight Diaz, okay? Which doesn't sound too bad. We're at a massive disadvantage, but the problem is that in the arena where we're going to be fighting him in the car park, there is actually a ton of limousines that spawn infinite guys. So you can't sprint, you can't jump, you get spawned in the middle of 15 guys with guns, plus Diaz, and you've got to kill him before your health inevitably explodes. It is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe that a mission like this has ever been put into a mod that isn't a complete joke. You know, it's like comical how bad it is. But I am going to show you how to cheese it, because ultimately missions like this are like barely possible without cheese and a ton of luck. So fuck it, let's cheese it, okay? So, there's a fire truck right next to it, where we need to be. Do not enter that marker because you'll start the boss fight. All of the limousines are already spawned in. If you destroy any of these, the game will crash, so do not destroy them. Instead, what you can do is you can actually use this fire truck to push the limousines out of the compound, because the gate is actually going to close behind you once you enter the fight. So if you can get these limousines out of the compound, the gate will close in between you and them, and none of them can attack you. So it's a fair 1v1 fight. Well, it's a 2v1, including Lance, but a proper fair fight against Diaz, basically. Rather than, 2 versus like 60. So yeah, just push all of the limousines out. Just make sure that you don't push them too hard so you get them stuck, or flip them or anything. And once you're ready, you can actually go and activate this marker. I misspoke a little bit earlier. You don't start the boss fight right now. You actually get Lance to come and heal you, which I think it either reduces or stops the whole not being able to sprint thing. before the final fight. Oh, yeah, it's less damage. Okay, so it doesn't even remove the debuff that you have. It just makes it less bad. So we still can't sprint and we still can't jump. Okay, good to know. Right, anyway, so now we're going to start the final fight with Diaz. But first, we need to heal up and stuff. So go to the pizza restaurant if you need health. Go to ammunition if you need, bullets or armor or anything. And make sure that there's nobody following you. Sometimes those AI can still be chasing you. So keep an eye out for those and make sure they're dead before you start the final fight. So now that you've cheesed the odds in your favor, this boss fight isn't at all difficult. I just used the rest of my M4 ammo to shoot Diaz, and then when I ran out, I shot him with the sniper rifle. As you can see, those camera cuts there are looking at the limousines, but they're not there because the dev didn't think to recheck that they were in place. Spawned them in too early, I guess. But yeah, just take out Diaz. He spawns upon a roof up there, as you can see. He's like barely visible, but you can just shoot him. You can also press G here to tell Lance, to like hold position and shoot at Diaz. Lance also has an M4, so tell him to shoot Diaz. He's pretty accurate and he'll do some good damage. And then yeah, just pick him off. As you can see, I'm checking behind me because I'm paranoid because of how much fucking prep it takes to do one attempt of this boss fight. So, but luckily this boss fight is a joke once you've cheesed it. So yeah, just slowly snipe him down and enjoy your very anticlimactic boss fight, considering this mission takes half an hour. So Shakedown is a kind of weird one. This mission is really fucking annoying, just like every hardline mission, lol. But the big thing is that you can make it way easier if you stay on a bike. If you bring a PCJ in here or a Sanchez or something. I have no clue why, but like I'm struggling to even formulate this thought to be able to tell you. But for some reason, it just makes this mission way easier. If you go on foot, enemies will start spawning like above your head and will just slaughter you. You'll get overrun so quickly. Like legit every couple of seconds a SWAT guy like flings themselves at you. But for some reason, when you're on a bike, I don't know if they spawn less or if they're less aggressive or what, but you just take way less damage. And it's not about the, the obvious thing of like, oh, Englishman, of course you take less damage because the bike takes the damage for you. But it's just like, there's less cops, they shoot you less, they hit you less. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's placebo or what, but I swear to God, it works. Like, I don't know if it's because there's just like less spawns because you're not considered on foot. Like, if you're in a vehicle, there's less on foot cop spawns. I don't know. The main thing that's very important in this, while I fucking ramble your ears off, I apologize, is that you should do the upstairs windows first, as you saw me do, especially the middle ones, because you want to stay on the bike the whole time. If you get off the bike, you'll get fucked, trust me, and not in a good way. So stay on the bike, but if you get your tires popped, which is very likely because there's a ton of bullets flying your way, then you won't be able to get up the escalators on the bike without getting off and then getting killed. So go up top first, just do the route that I do, and then slowly go around and clear out the bottom side, and you should be good. So next up is All Hands on Deck, the only non-mandatory mission from Cortez, and it's actually pretty chill. So it kind of has a similar thing, I believe. It's impossible to say because I don't know how this works on the code level, but I believe that it has a similar thing to Guardian Angels, where there's like enemies coming at you on a timer. So as soon as you get the timing down for when an enemy is Jesus Christ, let me show that again. When an enemy, that's hard to say, is going to spawn in between the regular spawns. So you see all the vanilla spawns, these are all in the regular game. But if you turn around, there's going to be like an RC Baron there that you need to destroy. And if you don't do that, then they're going to drop bombs on the boat, and you'll fail the mission really quickly because the boat will get destroyed. So yeah, just switch between. As you can see, I wait for the RC Baron, I kill a couple of guys on the vanilla spawns, and then I shoot the RC Baron, you know, rinse and repeat, basically. For some reason, always the third one doesn't take, like, any damage. I don't know why, like, you just can't fucking destroy it. I don't know if I'm just bad or what, but it doesn't matter, because you'll hit the cutscene anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much all it is. These guys might have, like, buffed accuracy weapons, I don't know. But the important thing is just to keep an eye on the Barons flying at you. I don't know if they're available in this second bit. I don't quite remember. Let's say it's been so long. This might just be the rest, but with better guns. I don't know. But yeah, if you don't know how to do this mission quickly in vanilla, you just snipe all the guys on the little boats and then destroy the middle boat here, because you need to destroy that middle boat. Otherwise, otherwise the game will tell you like, oh, the yacht's been blocked. So just do that. And the helicopters spawn very quickly. They're usually on a much lower timer. But I assume they're like triggered to spawn in quickly so that you get overrun. But obviously if you're quick enough, then this is just great because you don't have to wait around. So yeah, kill that boat behind to the south once you've killed everyone at the front, and then kill the helicopters and kill the hunter. I think from a vague memory before I see it, because I'm doing this live, the hunter, usually you can shoot the pilot out. You can just like snipe him out. I don't think you can do that in this, so you might just have to gun down the hunter. We'll see in a second. So next up is Live Juice. I've skipped the first section here because it's just like driving. The first like big like conflict section is going to this bit where the guy comes at you with a shotgun. You gotta go and chase him. He has a shotgun in vanilla, but he's way more dangerous now. What I would recommend doing is you want to have a car for this, not a bike, because you need to block this guy in. And this sounds ridiculous, but you're actually gonna eat an explosion, which is going to do 82.5% of your HP total value. And you're just going to tank him, and it's going to kill him. So use any vehicle, doesn't really matter, but I would recommend switching to the cop car if you don't have anything faster than that. Obviously, if you have like an Infernus or something, then stick to that. But you just need to be able to catch up with him. That's the most important part. So there's a fixed cop car there. It can be locked sometimes, but obviously most of the time it's fine. Just find something, like there's a stinger there on the road as well. And what you want to do is you want to park in front of this guy, and basically he'll set your car on fire like this, park there, stand close deliberately so that he doesn't try and reverse away. And now, as you can see, you've got like an infinite health blockade that will allow you to just pick him off. Because as you can see, he has a ton of health, and he shoots out of the car as well. So it's like, it sounds really counterintuitive to eat that 83 damage straight away, but you can tank it if you have full health. If you have 100 HP, 50 armor, 50 health, you can eat it, and you don't take any other damage from him. So yeah, then you go into the section with Mercedes. This bit has also been changed. I would recommend, again, having a car and a fast one at that. You're going to be switching to that PCJ in a second. This guy flies away with Mercedes, like, unconscious on the back or something. Don't get stuck like I did. It's very silly. And you need to get her back. I really don't want to comment on the why on earth Mercedes is like unconscious on the back of this person's bike. You know, like there's some connotations there that I don't want to get into. I hope she's okay. It takes some very powerful legs to hang like she is on the bike. It's very goofy. But anyway, we're gonna rescue her. As you can see, this bike is also modified to be faster, so you can use it. But yeah, once you've got Mercedes, just make sure you get her back in time, and then good to go. GG. So next up in the Love Fist storyline is Psycho Killer. This mission is like 10 seconds long. You can do it exactly the same as you can in vanilla, where if you are quick, then all you do is this lady is like, oh, I'll see Love Fist burn, blah, blah, blah. They're in a hot ring racer instead of a Sentinel or whatever it is. But literally all you do is just buffer an exit input to get out and just snipe them out of the car before they drive away. Obviously you can chase them if you want to, but that's by far the easiest way to deal with them. Next up, Alloy Wheels of Steel. As you can see, you've got Mitch's battered ex-girlfriend's bike or something. It's really slow and crap. Usually in vanilla, you would be able to steal one of their bikes, and they have like really overpowered bikes, but you can't do that. So the Coronas are a lot smaller. The like markers that you've got to hit during the race, a lot smaller. But ultimately, this is just like a skill check. This bike is garbage. It like corners like complete shit. But also the races are garbage as well. So as long as you just take it nice and slow like I am, as you can see, it looks like I'm going to lose. But these guys don't know how to corner to save their lives. So you get towards a big straight like this, slow down nice and easy, and just watch them just go sent off. Like, look at these idiots. And boom, you're in first place, just like that. So as long as you take it nice and slow, you won't have any trouble at all. So messing with the man is like kind of similar as it is in vanilla, but the big difference is that you get 5 stars, and you've also got to excuse me 1 second. Oh fucking hell. Sorry. If that came on the mic, I am so sorry. I am a disgusting human being. Anyway, you've got to do a ton more damage or chaos in this case as well. So I would recommend stocking up on weapons. If you don't have a ton of weaponry right now, then come back if you want to later on. And there's also some other tips that I can recommend. So stay on the grass out here for the same reason that I've talked to you a million times about. Whenever you have a big wanted level, they can't come to you on the grass. As you can see, the FBI guys are just driving around like idiots. Also, the helicopter that spawns when you have a 3-star or above wanted level is basically invincible. So you can just use it to farm a ton of damage. As you can see, I was able to do like over 1/3 of the meter just with that one helicopter alone. And then the rest of it, I just spend picking off what are they called? FBI guys, taking them out from range. Basically, all it does is you just got to do damage to property. So damage to vehicles, damage to pedestrians. Just shoot a lot of FBI cars and you'll be fine. Next up is Hog Tied, and it's another day, another time where I'm going to recommend for you to bring a helicopter with you. As you'll see, it's going to give you a really cool strategy here to make this a lot easier. So we need to get Mitch's Angel. It's chilling in this the bomb shop over here, and there's a couple of guys. But the idea is that the Angel is, as soon as you get in, you're gonna get swarmed by a bunch of the gang burritos. And if you dare try and go outside, you are just gonna get absolutely slaughtered by these things. So instead, we're gonna do a little cheese back to them. They're gonna surprise us. We're gonna surprise them. So we're actually gonna kind of bring them all over to us and lure them over here. As you see, I just saw them a little second ago. And all that you're gonna do is you're just gonna grab your helicopter and you're just gonna float over the ocean, just right next to where these guys are on the land. And what it's gonna cause them to do is it's gonna cause them to drive at you, and they are just gonna send themselves into the ocean because they are not smart enough to understand that you are too high for them to attack. You know, they're not looking at your Z coordinate, they're just looking at your X and Ys. So yeah, just send them all off to their dooms. Some of them might get stuck. You can just rearrange a little bit and eventually they're all, there you go, all done. And then you can just slowly take Mitch's Angel back without any other problems. I think it has 2 pop tires as well, in which case you can pay and spray it. Obviously, it doesn't help you with, you know, people attacking you, but you can actually go to the pay and spray and repair the bike for the tires, so you don't have to drive all the way back to Mitch's place with 2 pop tires. Publicity Tour shouldn't take you more than a few tries. I think the only difference here is that the sensitivity meter might be a bit more sensitive to blowing up, you know, like the speed meter or whatever. I don't think it even is. I don't think it's changed. But the one thing that I do remember has changed is that over time, your tires are going to pop. But if you follow the strategy that I do, which is just literally just driving around in a square around northern downtown, it doesn't make a difference. As long as you can drive with pop tires, it doesn't make a difference. Now I've just skipped ahead to have a look. There is one more thing that I forget. So the number one thing, as I said before, do not drive straight down south for 2 reasons. Number one is that you think that you're doing it in a straight line, but eventually you'll run out of road and you'll have to do a 180 turn, which is like fucking impossible, especially with pop tires. Instead, you want to keep doing 90-degree turns to the left here and just drive around in this little square on this block. But the other reason is because in specifically Hardlined, once the bomb has been defused, you only have a minute to get back to the concert before you fail the mission. So obviously when you're right here next door, that's not a problem. But if you're all the way at the southern part of, you know, down near the docks, then you're screwed. Back to main story progression now, and next up is Brawl. This mission has a ton of traps, so you need to be very vigilant and very much keep your distance when you're fighting these guys. So first off, you need to bring the NPCs with you. If you don't, you'll fail the mission. So make sure you bring them with you the whole time. As you can see, I've got them here. And then you need to pick off these guys. I use a sniper rifle because, as I say, you need to be really, really far away. Otherwise, these guys will absolutely destroy you. So there's one guy up on the rooftop. There's a guy here and a guy on the right-hand side that I've already killed. And also, once you've dealt with them, there's actually another guy as well. So if you go and just hit the marker now and go and speak to the owner of the bar, you'll be insta-killed, shot in the back, and fail the mission inside of a cutscene. So there's no counterplay to it. Because as you can see on the left-hand side here, there's another guy, and he's completely unmarked, which is total fucking horseshit. But yeah, he'll shoot you in the back in the cutscene if you don't kill him now. So now that you go in, you can actually deal with the cutscene and you don't get killed. And now it's just as simple as getting over to the southern side like you would in vanilla. There's a ton more guys, they have a ton more guns, and it's very annoying having to keep the NPCs with you. The other thing that's important to mention is because the NPCs' lives are now vital, you can't kill them or like abandon them or anything. you need to be very careful when the final set of vehicles spawn. There's a scripted explosion that happens in the camp, in the little like corridor, alleyway or whatever it is where they come out. And if the NPCs are near that, it will actually damage them in the cutscene and kill them. So what I like to do is I like to keep these guys nice and far away like this and just slowly pick everything off as I go. So the final set of guys are in a security car. If you're quick enough, you can actually snipe them out of their cars before they get too far away. But that's kind of annoying to do. So instead, what you can do is you can just like beat them to where they're going to go. They're going to go all the way to the end. And if they reach there, usually they would get out and just try and fight you. But in this, they actually you actually fail. So instead, what you should do is try and get ahead of them, head all the way down to the south, and try and pick them off, like snipe them as they drive past you. That's the easiest way. Get a nice easy line up and just take them both out. So next up is Copland, the final Vassetti Estate mission. And this one, you need to be quick. A minute and a half is not a lot of time. You might think it's a minute and a half to go and get to the garage with Lance, but it's not. It's a minute and a half to get a wanted level, to trigger the section at the garage with Lance, go there, and then get to the to actually plant the bomb at the mall as well. So you have to be very, very quick. I got the Maverick on top of the Vassetti Estate because it's a nearby easy helicopter spawn. That will then give us enough time to get over to the garage, and also a bike that I'm going to use later on. You'll see why I use a bike later on. But yeah, go here and just cause some havoc. You need 2 stars to get the guys to spawn. But I think it's set to, as you can see there, I got 3 stars for killing like 2 people. I think it's set so when you get any wanted level, it just gives you 3 stars, which is more than enough for what you need to do. So once you're in the thing with Lance and you've gone through all this, get in the helicopter, get Lance with you, and we're going to go and pick up a fixed freeway spawn, because that is going to allow us to escape afterwards. Once you plant the bomb in the mall, this isn't the difficult part. The difficult part is getting out again, because as I say, once you plant the bomb in the mall, the gates are all locked off, so you can't just leave the way you came. So instead, you have to fight your way through a ton of police forces through the mall, and having a bike to eat all the shots for you will be quite a lot easier, trust me. So yeah, we're going to head here, and there's a fixed freeway spawn right here, and we're going to use that to enter the mall, and then we can use that to escape as well. Most of the time, your bike won't be in one piece. You know, it's an ideal scenario that you can just leave with the bike, but that's very unlikely. But it's important that the bike takes the shots, and you don't, so you don't die. And then you can just get out with Lance. So yeah, just be quickly as you can here. You really don't have a lot of time. Get your ass over there, plant the bomb, and then the timer will stop. And then once you run away, as you'll see, all the gates will shut right here. Locking down with some of the exits. Luckily, not every single exit is blocked off. The one to the like northeast of us right now is all good. But you've got to go through some SWAT guys to actually get there, and they'll pop your tires and stuff, which is very, very annoying. So just go through. A lot of the time when you go through this door, you will be like, you know, you'll find sometimes you'll like fall off the bike and stuff, but most of the time you'll be able to get out reasonably okay. But you'll usually have like pop tires and stuff. So what I do is I take advantage of the fixed spawn, which is right here around the corner. Because because there's always going to be a car here that you can steal, and it's always going to fit you and Lance in it. You know, it's always going to be at least like a 2-seater. These cops like really screw me here and block off the exit where I need to be able to go. So I just do a quick 180 and spin around and then head back up there. But as you can see, that's what you need. Is you need to get up there and get that car. In hindsight, thinking about it, I might have been better to just like get off and jump up because Tommy can jump up. But I didn't know if Lance could get up there, so I decided to just go around instead and play safe. But that vehicle is what you want, and then you can use that to get back. Remember, the paint spray doesn't work, so getting rid of the 5 stars is not an option. This is just so you've got a safe vehicle to get back in. So next up is No Escape, the first Malibu mission. I decided to tackle the Malibu first because everybody told me it's the worst and it's like so hard, you know, all the missions are impossible. So let's go and tackle that first, and I'll prove to you that they're not. They're actually very doable. You just need a little bit of luck and a little bit of perseverance. So with this, you're gonna need, you don't need to do this. I don't know why I keep saying you're gonna need to do this, but this is how I did it, okay? You wanna get a bike into the police station because there are gonna be a ton of guys with shotguns, and they're going to come from like the infinite spawning hallway, which is really annoying. So the idea of the bike is that you can actually use it to block off the entrance so that the guys will spawn, but they get stuck behind the bike and they can't keep shooting you. Because if you were to just try and, you know, deal with the infinite shotgun guys, you would just get absolutely wrecked. So, yeah. You can see me kind of struggling to get the bike in here. It's not easy. You can't just ride it in. It doesn't let you. You need to get it into a position where you can sort of push it in, or enter it from the inside and then be able to carry it in. As you see here, I should be able to enter it now. But nope, sometimes the game is really annoying with it. But yeah, just keep pushing it. Eventually you'll get it in. There we go. There we go, perfect. So yes, so the first section is not too bad. You just want to deal with the first set of guys that are like, you know, some of the reception and stuff. They're not too bad. But the problem is, yeah, so you get 6 stars, you see. There's going to be, I threw a grenade down there because there's a couple of guys down below as well, to the south. But you can actually kill them through the wall. So in terms of dealing with these guys with the shotguns behind the reception desk and stuff, it's all just about like hearing their cycles. Like they shoot and then they wait a little bit and then they shoot. So just wait for them to shoot and then peek out and use that timing in order to kill them. Make sure everybody's dead before going on. And that's the doorway at the end of the corridor that you want to block. So you're going to deal with those guys while dealing with the infinitely respawning dudes. There's a guy downstairs as well. This guy should have respawned by now. Or he will do any second. So you're going to keep an eye on him. There's guys outside as well, which make it very annoying because they're just random spawns. But this is the guy that you want to be worried about, the guy with the shotgun. The guy with the pistols aren't too bad. The guy with the shotguns are the problems. So yeah, now once you get here, yeah, you want to see what I do. You can actually use burnout to spin, and you can block that entrance off just like that. And then use that to slowly fight your way through to upstairs. Once you've cleared everybody out and got the key card, there will still be guys downstairs on their infinitely spawning rooms, so watch out for that. But you can just grenade them. You don't need to care about trying to preserve your bike here. It doesn't matter. So as you see, I took one shot and I was like, okay, fuck this. And just threw a grenade down. The bike explosion will kill them. And then use that time where that guy's now dead. You got a few seconds to run down and get Cam and then get the hell out. So once you've actually grabbed Cam, I'm pretty sure from my vague memory, I'll be corrected in a second if I'm wrong. But you have to go to like a bunch of different places to get rid of the cops, right? Because you're going to lose the cops to 6-star wanted level with Cam, but you can't just go and pain spray because lol, that would be too easy. So you need to go and get bribes all around the map. Yeah, there's also a group of these elite cops. I don't remember ever seeing them because I took a helicopter, so I don't think they're a problem, but just keep in mind that they're there. So yeah, get the hell out, and then we're just going to go and grab a bunch of bribe stars to get our ass, you know, out of this horrible predicament that we're in. So hop outside, find a vehicle as soon as you can. You can keep the bike if you want to, but it's very risky. And then we're going to grab some bribes. So that first one in the pizza place, we're going to grab ahead of time because we want to get rid of the tanks and the army as soon as possible. Then we're going to head up north into these gardens and grab the Sparrow. Be mindful that Cam walks really slowly, which can get him killed because he has no sense of urgency. So then we're going to fly the Sparrow over. The Sparrow is very slow, so we're going to grab the VCN helicopter and then use that to pick up some more of the bribes. I don't know why I got out here. I thought that I needed to get out to have it register. You don't. Just fly into them. So get the one on the hairpin turned and get this one near the Washington Beach sign. It's kind of annoying to get to, so if you damage your helicopter, you can grab the Maverick that we use for Copland on top of the Vicetti Estate roof, which is what I did here. Grab this one in Ocean Beach, and then we can go back and grab a PCJ for the ones on the ground. I intentionally skipped these ones before because they were in like closed off areas, and I didn't want to risk doing this with such a high wanted level, but now we've got 2 and 1 star respectively. They're a lot more safe. So we can grab this one in the construction site, which we would have never been able to grab with the helicopter. And then the same with the one in between these little condos or whatever these things are. And now you can just take Cam back. And yeah, we're done. Not too bad. So for the Shootist, there isn't too much really to say. It's just a massive, really annoying skill check. I say like really annoying skill check because you'll see how fast these targets move. It's like ridiculous. It just takes a ton of tries until you get like, you know, it's not technically luck, it's skill, but it's like so ridiculously difficult that, you know, it might as well be luck. And you've got to hit 250 points, which is just crazy. So the only strategies that I can really give you are... What I did was I lined up, as you can see, with the front target, because the front target is worth 10 points a time, so the other ones aren't really worth going for. So what I did was I just lined up with a certain part of it, and just timed my shots, basically. Oh my god, Ben. Those bottom targets are so easy to shoot. Should never be whiffing that many fucking times. I just know the one time I get a shit round 1 like this, I'll get a really good round 2. And I'll lose anyway. I just know it. Like, the fact that I can still get 120 after whiffing, like, whiffing 6 bullets on a row in a row on an easy shot like that, it's just ridiculous. Like, I can get so much higher if I just don't play like shit. So if you thought that was bad, round 2 is really epic. I deliberately don't enter the mark here because I'm waiting for the score to go off my screen because it takes a little while. But the way round 2 works is that the targets are not only faster, but you get 5 points for destroying each target, which sounds great. But if you fail to destroy a target, so it, like, you know, comes onto the screen and goes back again and you don't kill it, then you lose 10 points. So you really need to be locked in here. And the same is for round 3. So if you have enough points by the end of round 3, you just need to focus on getting the targets dealt with. I think round 3 is if you miss a shot, you lose points, something like that. So you got to be very careful. Like, it's a very, like, risk and reward based thing. Oh yeah, so for round 3, it's a similar thing, but you only get 5 points deducted. But that doesn't sound as bad, but it's very difficult to hit these targets in round 3, especially the ones up in the window like that. And sometimes they're just in places where they just spawn like all the way at like the opposite sides, and they're just really annoying to deal with. Whereas in round 2, you can kind of get into like a flow state where you can just shoot in like, you know, kind of like a rectangle, if that makes sense, because there's like 3x2 targets. Whereas these, the spawns are actually random. They don't spawn in the same place all the time, as you can see. Sometimes you get ones in certain places, and it just becomes like a real pain in the ass. So at this point, I realized that I had 250 points, so I started trying to not whiff shots. Because I didn't want to keep, you know, whiffing and letting ones go. So what I did was I prioritized the 2 targets. Like, for example, if there was 2 targets that I could shoot easily and one that I couldn't, I would just ignore the first one and take the overall positive boost from the 3rd round, if that makes sense. So I'd shoot 2 of the targets, get 10 points, and then only lose 5 for letting the other one go away, rather than trying to shoot all 3 and potentially missing all 3 and having a net negative of 15 points, which is really bad, because then you would lose right at the end, which sucks. So next up is the driver. This is probably like the conceptually best. Is that a good way to describe it? Native speaker, by the way. The best mission conceptually is a better way of putting that. So you have to win a race against Hillary, not just once, but 5 different times, okay? And you also have a plethora of cars to choose from, but they all have benefits and drawbacks. So for example, you can see that Blood Ring Banger there is like very fragile. The Comet is really good, but you have to hold down the W key the entire time. If you break, you explode and die. So you have to beat Hillary 5 times, and there are 6 different cars that you can choose from. And once you've picked one car, you can't use it again. So you basically have to choose one car, and then never use it. So like whichever one you think is the worst one, don't touch that and use the other 5 instead. Now, the races also get significantly more difficult. So the first race is very normal, and then the second one, 3rd, 4th, 5th, etc., they add more things to make it more difficult. As you can see here with the driving, if you're wondering, is Ben just a shit driver? No, as I said, you can't brake. So you have to ram into walls deliberately in order to slow yourself down or get spun out like that. Like, it sounds counterintuitive, but if I let go of W at any point or hit the brake button or the handbrake button, I instantly blow up and explode. So doing corners is very, very difficult. So I'm intentionally hitting a lot of things to slow myself down, because otherwise if I go way too fast on a corner like this, I wouldn't be able to turn the corner. I would just plummet into the ocean, right? But yeah, so the order that I did was I did the Comet first because the Comet is doable, but like only on the first race. I think the second race gives you Rain, which makes this 10 times harder. And on the second one, I believe I did Landstalker. The Landstalker gets pop tires throughout the entire section. So on the first couple of races, it's fine. On the third one, I did the Voodoo. And what the Voodoo has is it actually makes... It's really stupid. Every like 5 seconds or something, it makes like a fart noise and propels you forward. So you need to make sure that you time it, not to go as fast as possible, but make sure that you're on a straight road and not a corner. When that 5 seconds is about to hit. It might be 5 or 10 seconds. Maybe it's 10 seconds. I don't remember. We'll look into it a bit later. But yes, so you're going to make sure that you're on a straight road, because if you're on a corner like this and you get propelled forward, then you're screwed. Also, this is like the worst corner by far. I have to like go so wide here to be able to turn around. Because if you try and just drive straight over the bridge, you hit the curb and just go over the bridge and drown, which is great. But yeah, and then number 4, what did I use for number 4? I'm just trying to think. I can't think of what cars even exist still. I remember there's a Sentinel that gives you a wanted level, which sucks because it just makes the cars like random. So I decided to not use the Sentinel in this. Oh, that's it. It's the Catfish, the Phoenix. That's what I used number 4, I think. Because yeah, the Catfish isn't too bad. Like, it's hard to control, but it only has a bit of input delay, so it's not that bad at all. And then the Blood Ring Banger for number 5 is like the easiest one to drive, because yes, it's fragile, but that's it. As long as you don't crash, it's completely fine. So this is what I recommend. You can do it with all of them, I'm sure, but I would recommend for race 1, you choose the Comet. For number 2, you choose the Landstalker. For number 3, you choose the Voodoo. Number 4, you choose the Phoenix, and for number 5, you choose the Blood Ring Banger. So I'm going to speed the rest of this up, because obviously it's like 10 minutes of footage from now to win the races. You've got to do all 5 in a row, so the mission is like 15 minutes long. It's really fucking annoying, and it will take a lot of tries, because there's a lot of trial and error involved in this. But hopefully the correct cars at the right time will help you. So yeah, so... Now, every single race gets harder, as I mentioned. And on the second one, they give you Rain. On the third one, I think they changed the time so that you drive even faster. And then number 4, it gives you Earthquakes, I think. So every few seconds, like, your screen shakes. And on number 5, I don't remember exactly how it works, and it doesn't matter anyway, because it's also really bugged and doesn't work. But the 5th race is like... It's supposed to be something to do with, like, dropping bombs or something, and if you drive over them, you fail. Some shit like that. But as you can see, the detonation for me was always at the top, and it never did anything. So it never actually worked. So the 5th one is just bugged, I guess. I don't know. Also, if you're playing this at home and you're watching this and just about to do this mission, mute your volume during this cutscene that you're just about to hear. Because it plays an ear-splittingly loud sound right here that's supposed to be like, oh, like... the gods of the void or something, you know, Cthulhu is like not happy that you did it. But yeah, it's just really awful and ear-splittingly loud for no reason, because haha, loud equals funny. So the final Malibu mission is the job, and don't worry, it's not nearly as bad as the driver. So if you got past the driver, then congratulations, because this one isn't nearly as bad. It's still pretty bad. I'd recommend parking a 4-seater helicopter. You can get one in downtown, above the police station on the roof. Because we're going to need an easy way to escape, and with all the police that's going to be on us once we're done with the bank heist, there's going to be no vehicles on the street or anything. So we needed an easy way to escape, and what I did was I parked the helicopter around the back, so then we can just escape to the back with everybody, because if you abandon anyone, you fail the mission. So once you're actually inside the bank doing the heist, it's not too bad. There's just like the classic hardline stuff of like really accurate enemies from a really long range. So you just need to make sure that you pick them off. Just follow the video. Sniper rifle is really good because you can actually wallbang people through like the pillars and stuff. And just make sure that you don't get like, you know, Cam killed. If you walk too far forward, Cam will try and fight these guys and he'll just get wrecked immediately. So just like really pick your shots. Just go nice and slow, nice and patient. Check every corner, because there will be guys around every corner, as you can see. Like, you know, the classic, like, cheap way to make difficulty is just make someone spawn around every single corner to one-shot you, basically. Yeah, and then once you're outside, you're gonna have to escape, and escaping is by far the worst part, because all the fucking NPCs walk extremely slowly, because of course they do. These guys right here, you don't have to pick off right now, but it's way easier to pick them off now than do it later once you're actually up there with them and you're in their range, right? Because they can shoot you really easily. So it's better to just take them out ahead of time, basically. And then you can also use the, what's it called? Like, yeah, like you're kind of like a good angle on this person as well. If you were to walk out, usually this person would like wreck you because you've got like no good angle on them, really. So you're better off just, you know, doing all of this yourself from here. And then once you run out of here, a guy is triggered to come right at you and he will annihilate you. So very, very important that you get some distance ahead of time and then pre-fire him. And then use the shotgun for any close quarters stuff. So you see here I used the shotgun and the M4. Shotgun is really good because it knocks people over. So the ones that have a ton of health, like this guy, you can knock him down and then shoot him for free where he can't attack you back. There's nothing really here to note about this section. The only thing that's different is that the bank manager, instead of being in his office, is actually downstairs. He's like where the big group is in the main room. So just go and grab him. His trigger can be kind of annoying. You need to stand in like a really particular spot. So if you don't trigger him, just kind of walk around a little bit and make sure you get like right in front of him. Or in this case, behind him. But you get the idea, right? Like straight on with him. So you take the bank manager upstairs, it all works exactly the same. You come back down, somebody triggers the alarm, and now the police are onto you. The SWAT guys come and storm the place. So this is where you need to be like really, really quick, because these guys will, again, absolutely annihilate you. They're massively overtuned. So as soon as you gain control, you want to head directly behind you, and head behind this little like glass, whatever it's called, like little, you know, divider or whatever. Because if you stand at the appropriate thing here, you see where I'm stood like as close to it as possible and then like half a step back, you can actually point your gun through it. You can like clip your gun through it and you can attack them, but they can't attack you. So you have like basically a free one way. You can try and leave now where it says like, oh, that's the last of them, go, go, go. That's a vanilla bug where like the game doesn't actually check that everybody's dead. It just checks for like 3 of them to be dead. But make sure that they're all dead, especially guys upstairs, because otherwise you'll just get slaughtered the second you step out. Now is where the fun really begins. You'll fail this mission like a million times here. I don't know why the fuck Hillary falls from the sky and why he has Molotovs and shit. I don't know. Don't ask. But yeah, so you need to keep all these guys with you now. And so what you can do is you can hold shift to make them sprint towards you. You want to get them all with you, because if you get even like 2 steps too far away from any of them, you instantly fail the mission, which is just fucking awful. So now you want to use that helicopter that you parked around the corner. If you didn't park one, then good luck. I'm waiting around to see if I can see the police helicopter here, because if I try and take off too early, the police helicopter will slaughter me. But if you shoot it like I did there right in the rotors, it actually causes the police heli to come down and explode. And now is your chance to go, because otherwise the police heli will wreck you. But as you can see, these guys love to walk very slowly, especially fucking Hillary. And if you're getting wrecked by cops here, there's nothing more frustrating than watching. It's pissing me off now watching it, and this footage is months old, man. Look at how long it takes him to get into the fucking helicopter. Holy shit. Okay, now let's go and escape. So all you need to do now, this is the easy part. Don't worry. Once you're here, it's pretty much smooth sailing. Hopefully, anyway. Just land your helicopter in this compound. It doesn't matter if you lose it. Doesn't make a big deal. You just need to make sure that everybody survives. So like if you set it on fire, or example, just get everybody away. But all you do is hit this marker and it'll remove your wanted level. Sometimes people get stuck because they're dumb, so just, you know, like run back and forth until you get them. But get them in this marker, you'll remove your wanted level, and then you just need to go and head them back to the original where the vanilla mission ends. As you can see, these guys just fucking complete idiots getting stuck all the time, so just try and round them up the best you can. Again, don't get too far away from them. I don't know if you can fail at this point, but I assume you probably can. So just be careful. Come on, Hillary, let's go. So yes, there we go. So we get rid of the wanted level, and then here you can fly away, or if your heli's stuck like mine was, you can just grab a car and just drive back to the next marker, and then that's mission done. Malibu done as well, thank God. So next up is Gunrunner. Once you completed the Malibu asset, you get access to Phil's place, and you can do 2 missions for him. Gunrunner and Boomshine Saigon. Gunrunner isn't too bad. Boomshine Saigon is awful. We'll get to that in a second. For now, Boomshine Saigon, pretty chill. The only thing that makes it particularly difficult is that you really don't have a lot of time at all, considering that these guys, usually they drive in a straight line up and down the main road, but these guys go everywhere. You'll see in a second for me, they went to the airport. I don't know if that's fixed or if it's random or what, but they're just like massively spread out, so you really haven't got a lot of time. So I'd recommend driving the Patriot up north and grabbing that PCJ that I did. Obviously, it's way, way faster than the Patriot. And then use your Spaz 12 shotgun. If you don't have one, I'd recommend buying one at this point. Just to absolutely nuke the cars as quickly as you can and grab all the weapons. And then go from north to south. And as I say, you'll see later on, I actually get my tires popped by one of them. If that does happen to you, and you're nearby the police station downtown, not this one here, but further south, then you can actually grab the fixed Vice City cheetah spawn, the VCPD cheetah or whatever it's called, and I use that for the rest of the mission. All right. Remember when I talked about the top 5 worst missions in this mod? This one's probably the 6th, so it's not quite top 5, but it's pretty bad. Because it's so short, that's what makes it, not horrendous. But if this mission was 10 minutes long, it would suck. So I'm going to make this look really easy, but trust me, it isn't. It's so random. So the problem is that Phil's health goes down rapidly, as you can see, right? But then also, he starts randomly tugging on your controls constantly. So if you're like about to, go past a tree or a car or something, every now and again, he'll just pull you into the way. And if you crash too much, then you'll just fail instantly because there isn't enough time. And obviously it does damage to Phil's health when you crash. So it's just such a pain in the ass. Also, there's a mechanic in the original game where if you go past a cop car, it gives you a 1-star wanted level for drunk driving, which is like a cool little mechanic, right? Like it barely interrupts the game at all. It's just a cool thing. Oh, the game saw you drunk driving, and it's like a mission exclusive wanted level. Well, the Hardlined developer decided to change that. So in this, if you go past a cop, you get instant 6 stars and you instantly fail the mission because the army just come and kill you. So like a really good change, a really great mechanic, a fun little thing in original Vice City. And now it's just, if you get unlucky, you fail the mission. And there's nothing you can do about it. Classic VC Hardlined. So next up, we're doing the film studio. Now we're done with Phil's place. Film studio isn't too bad. There's a couple of tricky missions, but it's not nearly as bad as the Malibu, trust me. The only really, really difficult one is Dildo Dodo, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Recruitment Drive isn't too bad, the first Film Studios mission. As you can see, there's all these guys driving on top of each other. Very goofy. But you can just like park a PCJ nearby, get the hell out of the way, and then tackle them. There's no like I just realized it said it's literally a joint operation. Nice one. But yeah, I think my bike despawned or something. I don't remember, but yeah, just grabbing another one on the street. There's no time limit to this, as far as I know. I took forever to shoot them, so you can just pick them off slowly with a sniper rifle. Just make sure you don't get too close, because they'll slaughter you, as you saw. Taking 110 damage before you even like properly gain control of your character is bullshit, but you know, this mod is full of bullshit, so I'm sure you're used to it by now. So just do what I do here and just use this long stretch of road whenever you're in front of them, get ahead of them and just use it to blow them up. And then once you've killed them all, just go and grab candy. Make sure you switch, if you're on a bike like I am, I'm currently on a PCJ, be sure to switch to a decent vehicle, because you're gonna need a fast car with at least 3 seats for this section. So you'll need a 4-seater. I'd recommend the police car that we talked about in downtown before. So go and grab candy, grab a police car from downtown VCPD, and go and pick up Mercedes in the pizza restaurant. So as you can see, there is a cop car blocking the path, and you might think to yourself, like, wow, I got very unlucky here. A cop has just happened to park his car right there. I sure as hell did. No, that's fixed, and yes, it's locked, and yes, it's like almost damage proof. So you can't just shove it out the way, sadly. You can't just, you know, try and enter it and driving it away or any of that stuff. So unfortunately, if you don't have any grenades here, you've probably soft-locked, because, or rockets or something. Because you need to, you can't push it, and you can't blow it up, and you can't shoot it. It's bulletproof and explosive proof and collision proof and everything. So the only real way that I thought about that actually worked was throwing a grenade at it to knock it out of the way. As you can see, it's fully locked. So you just need to get the hell out of there. Of course, all the fucking spawns are locked. Luckily, there was one here. I don't know if this is my own one or not. And of course, as you can see, once again, the classic troll. It's a tailor's all the time at this point. Candy walks normally, but Mercedes takes as long as possible to make sure that the chances of her dying are as high as possible, just to troll you. Alright, I hope you've been practicing your dodo flying, or your skimmer flying skills in this case, because they don't call it a dodo in this game, even though they call the mission that you use the skimmer in the dodo. Anyway, doesn't matter. Hope you've been practicing your skimmer flights, because you're going to need it here, let me tell you. This mission is exactly the same as the original, but the flight paths have been changed, so they're in like really, really tricky locations. And I'm talking like driving through the middle of the fucking construction site with the most horrendous hitboxes you've ever seen. Luckily, you might think this is like, okay, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this ever, because like, look at this one, okay? But I'll show you a little strategy here. So you don't need to actually be in the skimmer in order for the things to count, as long as you know where they are. So you can literally just do what I did there. As long as you park close enough, you can teleport back in and then just jump into the radius of the corona, the marker, and just have it count. And you can do exactly the same thing with the one on Starfish Island. Some of them, it's not possible to do it on because you can't park nearby without, you know, dying, but it makes this 10 times easier. And also the route that I do here, I would very much recommend it because it does all the most difficult ones first and the easiest ones last, while still being a somewhat efficient route, because you really have to be efficient here. If you fuck about too much, you'll run out of fuel and fail the mission. Oh, also, a really fun mechanic that I almost forgot to mention. So in Vanilla Vice City in this mission, the hitboxes are way bigger than the physical markers. So sometimes it can look like you can actually miss the marker, but in reality, you hit it because the hitbox, it's more like lenient, basically. Well, that's the opposite in this. They switch the values around. So sometimes it looks like you go perfectly through the marker and it doesn't count anyway because the hitbox is even smaller. And I mean, look at this shit. Look at the hitboxes on this thing. Like, that is basically just luck. I swear to God. I did this like 3 times in a row. Sorry, 3 times in a row. Like 30 times, like total trying this mission. And I swear to you, it was just a 50-50 coin flip, basically. Which is exactly why we're doing this one second, to get it the hell out of the way, because it's just awful. Also, your approach is super, super important, hence why I went out of my way there to get a different lineup underneath the sign. The reason for that is because the ladder looks dangerous, but the ladder actually has no collision whatsoever. So you can use that to perfectly line yourself up, and then do another 180 here to come back on yourself and pick up this one near the, is it Umberto's Cafe, I think it is? Yeah, right next to Umberto's Cafe. This one is a similar strategy that you've been seeing. Basically what you need to do is you need to like, basically nosedive very slowly so you start like plummeting, and then pull yourself up as you grab it. Because if you try and go low the whole time, you'll pick up the marker, but then you'll smack into the building across the street. Because you need to be able to pull up over the building once you've gone down again. And obviously if you have too much speed, then you're screwed. This one you can do exactly the same as what you did with the first one. Just make sure that you park close enough and use the skimmer wings. Here you can't hear it on the video because I don't have the game sound because it's got like my live commentary over it and I don't want to clash over it. But you can actually hear. You'll know when you've picked up the marker because you can hear it of you. The sound of you. It goes like blip or whatever, and you pick up the marker. Excuse my horrible attempt at mimicking it, but you get the idea. So, you might be thinking to yourself, if you're picking the most difficult ones first, why on earth are you picking this one last? Because this one looks extremely difficult, and trust me, it is. You have to be very, very fucking careful to not crash the second you pick up this marker. And the reason for that is because it's sort of true. You want to pick the hardest ones first, but also you want to pick the most difficult ending last. because as soon as you hit the last checkpoint, you can crash. It doesn't matter, right? So in my opinion, this one's ending, this one here, the buildings that you'll see, I legit couldn't figure out a way to do this without just crash landing. So I deliberately left it for last, so that I could pull in, and once I crash, it doesn't matter, the mission has already passed. So that's why I did this one last. Again, if you feel like an order is better for you, then go for it. But who are we kidding? None of you are actually doing this at the same time as I am. You're just watching me do it because you don't want to, right? And I don't blame you. This fucking mod is awful, so don't play it. Next up is Martha's Mugshot, third film studios mission. This one isn't too bad. It's just once you follow and get Candy to the right place. They drive really fast, I think, something like that. I don't remember, it's been a while. But the important part is once you actually get to near the Malibu Club. Grab a very fast vehicle. You're going to need it. I recommend a PCJ if you can find one. Because you're going to need to go and chase Mr. Shrub around he's in like a cheater or something. And you're going to need to be in a very close radius in order to be able to take these pictures of him. And the more pictures you take, the higher wanted level you get. So you need to be in and out very quickly. So my strategy that I did was I would get really close to his car, fling myself off the PCJ, take the picture immediately, and then go and run and get on the PCJ. Because if I were to go up next to him and then slowly park the PCJ, get off and take the picture, by the time I get off, he would already be out of range. So you need to just go, take it immediately, and leave straight away. It's like this. Fling yourself off, take the picture, and then go and get back on the bike. And then just watch out for cops, rinse and repeat. Once you've taken all the pictures, it'll say that Shrub is pissed off at you and that you need to lose him. You can just head back towards the film studios, and eventually you'll lose him, and it'll tell you to get back there anyway. All the section at the front is blocked off, so I'd recommend doing this instead. If you're familiar with the 100% of this game, you'll know that there is a stunt jump here that you can take, and it actually takes you, ramps you into the film studios without having to deal with other guys, so you can just jump over them. Your other option is flying a helicopter, but if you're still on the PCJ, this is the easiest way. So finishing off with G Spotlight, this mission is actually really trivial. The only sort of caveat is that you're doing it in I think it's a freeway or an angel. I think it's a freeway. And you've also got a guy on the back who's filming. And if you knock him off the bike, or you fall off the bike yourself, I think, you fail the mission. So you basically just need to do it in like one fell swoop without falling off on a freeway, which is more difficult than vanilla, but it's not nearly as hard as some of these other missions. So just use the route that I take and just make sure you've got enough speed when you go over the jumps, and it's all just practice from there. As soon as you land this last jump, then you're all done. You can just hit the marker and finish the mission. Next up is mission 1 for Kalpman Cabs, VIP. This one did actually get a laugh out of me. A lot of the time, this mod, I don't really find it particularly funny, the memes they come up with. But this did actually tickle me a little bit with the whole, like, it's just so many guys pulling up all with the same line. And they actually have, like, the line is pitched differently, so it sounds like it's a different person saying it every single time. Okay, you got me there, developer. It's pretty funny. But yeah, with this one, you've got to take out like one specific driver while all the other ones like come after you, Demolition Derby style. That final taxi is the one that you want, and that is, it's very, very fast. So you got to be very careful trying to catch it up in a Kalpman cab. Head straight to the airport. Don't try and cut it off, because there is one section right at the end of the mission where it looks like you're going to fail, because if the other taxi, let me try that again. If the other taxi takes the VIP to his destination, you fail, right? And just before he's about to hit the marker, he actually goes to turn, but he turns too early and hits the mailbox because he's going so fast, because he's set to like a ridiculous acceleration number, and the dev didn't think to like, redo his pathing based on his new stats. So he actually hits the mailbox and flips over, and you can use that time to steal the VIP out and just deliver him at the last second. So next up, we've got Friendly Rivalry. It's a very epic mission. So usually you got to find 3 other rival cabs and destroy them. This time there is 5, but the absolute meme is that they're not marked anywhere. So they're just randomly on the map. So you could never find a single taxi in this if you just happen to pick the wrong place at the wrong time. They can drive absolutely anywhere, so they can be all the way over the map. They can be at the airport, they can be downtown, they can be Ocean Beach, you name it. So yeah, very epic. The first thing I did was I grabbed a VCPD cheater. I later switched that to a helicopter because you're able to, scout over and see where everybody is. If you get a notification that there's a rival taxi nearby, that means that you're in like a certain radius of one, and you can use that in order to destroy them. It doesn't get any easier than that. That's all the game gives you in terms of actually trying to figure it out. But the one thing you can do to make this much easier, what I do here, is grab the any helicopter, but the VCPD one is the best, and deliberately hold away and fly high enough so that regular traffic doesn't spawn on the street. And the reason for that is because then when you go down, if you were to fly normally overhead, you wouldn't be able to tell what is a rival taxi and what is a regular taxi, right? Because they can spawn on the road as part of regular traffic. However, if you fly nice and high so that the regular traffic generation doesn't spawn in, then you can just, also very epic, this guy blowing up my helicopter almost, very cool. But yeah, you won't be able to see them. You'll only be able to see them. So the regular traffic generation won't spawn in, and then you can exclusively see, if you see a taxi, that is the mission spawned one, and you can go and take it out. So for the final one, Cabmageddon, this is really epic. I'm going to show you a really cool strat on how to do this. So first things first, you're going to get absolutely wrecked if you don't have some kind of vehicle to defend yourself. So what I did was I deliberately brought the Benson here and just parked it slightly out the way. If you park it in the marker, it'll despawn. So instead, just park it a little further out the way, a little bit to the east here, and then grab and face this direction when you hit the marker. You're going to get absolutely bukkake by all these vehicles coming at you in traditional Cabmageddon style, but these ones are turned up to 11 as usual. What we want to do is we want to drive all the way down to the south if possible, but as you can see, you'll just get run over and absolutely demolished if you try and do this normally. So instead, you get in the vehicle so that you can't get run over, and so the helicopter blades don't like destroy you as well. So now you just need to get free. This usually isn't too difficult. And we're going to drive all the way down to the south and hop onto a ledge that we're going to be using, and that's going to be our like safe haven. It's very similar to the vanilla strategy if you've seen it in like Dupless speedruns. You just basically head out the way and use this time to, like, they can't run you over because you're on top of a ledge. So let's gain control and I'll be with you in a second. Okay, good. We were finally able to get out. Now, all that you got to do, this is really simple, okay? So follow my instructions very carefully. Hop out of the helicopter, have a car ram you at the same time as you jump, and then, I mean, it speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? Jump and just happen to dive on top of the helicopter. It's really that simple. There really isn't too much to it. Joking aside, obviously, that wasn't my intended strat. If you were to, instead of just standing on top of the helicopter, all you would do is run on this ledge that you can see here, and that would allow you to do exactly the same thing. Obviously, the helicopter looks way cooler, but it's not any better of a strategy. It just looks funny. So, since you can so easily escape the compound from that ledge by just running around to the east and then the north, you can actually use this to make this guy completely not a threat to you. Usually you would be locked in here with him and he has a car and you don't, so it would be like a really unfair fight. But now he's stuck behind a gate, so you can just use that to shoot him or throw grenades or whatever. Eventually you'll set him on fire and the driver will get out and start running at you back and forth, and then you can just like throw grenades over the fence or throw them at the fence and just kill him nice and easy. So next up is Spilling the Beans, the first Printworks mission now that we're done with Kaufman Cabs. This strategy that I'm about to show you isn't particularly consistent, but the reason I'd recommend it nonetheless is because it actually is way faster to execute than any other strategy I can come up with. So obviously, even if you fail like 50% of the time, you can do way more attempts until you get it, rather than one that might be 80% consistent but takes like 20 minutes longer, right? So I'd rather just send attempts and pass it way quicker than doing a really slow strat. So these guys on the boat, they have like ridiculous accuracy. Try and pick them off the best you can from the rooftops, like what I'm doing here. And then we're going to take our helicopter, and this is very important that you have full health for this. So there's no timer on this mission, so if you take any pot shots from here, go and heal up first before doing this. Because what we're going to do is we're going to fly our helicopter on top of the ship, jump down before anyone can kill us because there's infinitely spawning guys on there. Trigger the cutscene, and then head back out and get into the helicopter again. When you leave with the helicopter, it is very, very likely that they are going to shoot your helicopter and blow it up. So when it sets on fire, you're going to bail out of the helicopter, and you can actually tank the explosion and land on the ground. You will be very close to death, and obviously with the police around you, you might die, but you can survive it, as I'll show you, because as I say, you're at 100 health, and the explosion from the damage only does 82.5 damage, so you've got about 17 health or so to live with, and then if you fly low enough, the fall damage doesn't do 17 damage, it does about 14 or 15, so you can live on a couple of health points, and use that to run away, get a car, and then drive to the end of the mission. It's very important that you do kill these two guys around here. There's one there and one below you as well. Right, where is he? Or is he not there? Usually he's on this platform behind me. Maybe I already killed him, but there's one on that platform as well, so just watch out for that. But yeah, kill them, get back into the helicopter, get set on fire inevitably, dive out, survive, and win. Next up is hit the Courier, final Printworks mission. We're going to head straight down to the docks here. Watch out for the shotgun people. You let your car tank all the damage. And we're going to hop down into a Jetmax that is, this is a fixed spawn for the mission, so you can take it. And we need to head out into, I don't even know what you would call this, like a hut, like out at the sea. I don't know. I don't know how the wooden huts don't like rot, just sat in the water the whole time. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, how does it not just get, like, super wet? Right, guys? Anyone? No? Okay. There's probably some, like, really easy explanation, and everyone's going to be like, Ben, you're a fucking idiot. Of course, they fucking rub them in Vaseline or something, and it makes them waterproof. I don't know. But the important thing is that the helicopter lands on this little wooden bit here, so you need to go and collect the briefcase from there. there is a lady on the other side. If you approach from the side that I do here, when I approach from like the northeast side, there's going to be a lady on the other side of the helicopter, and she is going to try and shoot at you, and she's going to end up shooting the helicopter, and blowing herself up and possibly you up if you stand too close. So you'll see it happen to me. I actually survive, but there you go. She blows it up very quickly. Luckily, that means that everybody is now dead and I survived, so I can just grab the plates. But yeah, you get the idea. Grab the plates. Try not to drown on the way back. Get the go to the jetmax. All I did for actually escaping the 5-star wanted level was I just went to Starfish Island. You can pull up on the jetty there, run around to the front of the mansion, and then grab the fixed-in furnace. So next up, cap the collectors. We're finally into the end game now, thank God. So the collectors, you need to make a decision here. Are you going to try and beat every single mission? I know most of you are probably just watching this for the sake of it, but are you going to try and beat every single mission, including Autocide, which is the hardest mission? Which is, it's an hour long, by the way, just to give you an idea. Or are you going to just beat the game from here on? Like, you've unlocked Cap the Collectors and you're just going to beat the game. If you're planning to do all of the missions, I would recommend doing what I do here. If you're planning on just beating the game, I'll show you an easy way to do this mission in just a second. But the reason why we want to do it in this particular way is because we actually want to steal the tank that the third set of collectors come in. So the first set of collectors, they tax the boatyard. They're very, very quick, so don't worry if they tax it. And the second guys, they do a ton of damage, but they're just in a little thing, like a little gang burrito. So you can just grenade them to death once they get out. It's not a big deal, just like that. And then the third set of guys are going to come in a tank, and you want to steal that. That's the idea. So in between the second and third guys, first and second guys, you've got enough time to heal. They take forever to come. So yeah, you can just bombard them with grenades from the top of the Malibu. They will always, it's a fixed order, so you will always get the Malibu. You will always get the Malibu if they tax the boatyard and you own the Malibu. The Malibu will always be first. So if you want to do Autocide in the future and you haven't done the mission yet and you plan to, then be sure to grab that tank and store it in a place that can hold it. The Hyman condo in downtown is the easiest way. If you plan on just beating the game like normally and you're just going to do cap the collectors and then keep your friends close and you don't care about the tank, then the easiest way is actually to, if the Mafia tax the boatyard, then simply to reload the save and try again until you get here quick enough. If you're quick enough, as you see here, you can land a helicopter, get into the boatyard, and then kill these guys before they actually cap the boatyard. And now all you need to do is wait at the boatyard for all three sets of them to come. It takes a while, but it's way easier and you don't have to deal with potentially getting annihilated by the guys. Just make sure that you don't step out, because if you step out onto the road, you'll get killed by the guards that are guarding each of the assets that you saw in the previous video. But yeah, you can literally just let them come to you like this. They'll walk to you in a straight line and you can just slaughter them. And the same with the guys that come out the tank. All you do is just wait a couple of minutes for them to drive to the boatyard. They get out the tank and then you can just slaughter them as well here. Nice and easy mission. All right, now it's time for the big one. So this mission is an hour long, okay? Just to give you, this is the most difficult mission and most bullshit mission you will ever play. If you ever complete this mission legitimately, you, as far as I'm concerned, have done it all. Like, you literally have nothing left to prove in this game. This is like the ultimate test of fucking ability, endurance, luck, persistence. It is just absolutely horrific. So there are like 30 targets that you have to kill. And the first couple, as you can see here, start off very, very easy. They're just running around on the path, on the sidewalk, and you just kill them. Nice and easy. Later on, it gets really, really ridiculous. And all that I'm going to do is we're going to cut through to each of the sections. And I'm just going to tell you how each of the people work, basically. Because obviously, this mission, this video is already way too long as it is. So the traveling in between all of them, fuck that. So this guy is only weak to melee, so he's bulletproof and everything. And also he has that plane that comes after you, so you got to be careful, because if it hits you, it will kill you immediately. So you go and chainsaw him down, and then there's this guy as well. He is very accurate, so pick him off from a distance. And now we're going to head to Starfish Island. So once you kill this guy, you get 3 stars. And because you can't get rid of your wanted level because there's no police bribes or anything, you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're going to have 3 stars for the next hour. And it's only going to get worse. You're going to get 4 stars and 5 stars later. That guy in the mall that we just killed is completely unmarked. He's just somewhere in the mall. I usually found him upstairs, but obviously it's kind of random. So you're just going to have to go and look for him. These 2 people on their vehicles, a lot of the time this guy in the Esperanto will just kill himself, as you saw here. He's very easy to deal with. Even if he doesn't, you just shoot his tires out and he'll just get stuck somewhere and you can kill him. So that's very, very simple. But the main issue here is like a battle of attrition, basically. You've got an hour and you've got to survive for an hour with constant cops on your ass, not getting busted, not getting killed, blah, 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 right? So the one big tip I can give you is that the time limit, an hour, is actually quite lenient. You can't fuck about for ages, but you do have enough time to, if you ever get to a point where you're low on health or low on guns or anything like that, you do get to a point where it's better to just go to the ammunition and stuff and heal up and get more ammo and stuff, because trust me, you're going to need it, than it is to try and make risky plays for no reason. Especially with the ones later on, a lot of them you'll need full health for, because they'll just fucking one-shot you if you're not careful. There's one that I'll point out later on that has an M60 and will literally just 100 to 0 you if you're not careful. So you need all the health you can get. These guys are, again, very accurate from very far away. So I pull up onto the grass because the cops can't really deal with you there. And any of them that do happen to get onto the grass, I just shoot them. And then you can just slowly pick these guys off. Snipe, snipe, snipe. Nice and easy. And this is where I would say the difficulty kind of spikes. So these guys like joyriding around and their cars are ridiculously, what's the word? Like tanky. And later on, you'll get to a point where all the cars are just bulletproof. So what I would do for these ones is I would get into a VCN helicopter and I would follow them around and stay like, keep my distance, because otherwise they're unbelievably accurate. And when they get to a point where they're on a fixed path like this, then I would fly ahead, get onto a rooftop and snipe them with an M4 as easily as I can. It's very difficult and it'll take you a lot of practice. As you can see, I've already skipped to like half an hour through here. But yeah, it's basically the same idea. So this one is the biggest problem, this guy. The guy in the Hunter, you can just sit on that hairpin turn and he has a fixed path. This guy is the biggest issue, the other player. So you get 4 stars when you first start dealing with him. And then also, eventually, he will set your he'll set your game to 2 times speed. So you have to play for 2x speed for a lot of it. And he randomly starts spawning Saber Turbos on top of you. And if at any point he actually like lands one of those shots, he will it will just land on top of you and you'll get stuck and you'll die. So what you want to do ideally is shoot him out of his vehicle like this. As you can see, the Saber Turbo is fucking landing on me. Be very careful to not die, very, very careful. But get him stuck to a point where you can kill him, but he can't kill you. If you step into mid-range with this guy or close range, then you will die immediately because he has an M60 and he will just slaughter you. So as I say, it's a battle of attrition, basically. You need to keep moving, get the hell out of the way of all the vehicles that are coming down, deal with the police helicopters, make sure none of the cops are killing you, and then go onto like a section like this where he can't do anything and just slowly shoot him down. He does use health cheats, but eventually he'll go down with enough bullets. The PSG is really good for this because it's infinite range and it's really high damage as well. This guy with who's riding the Esperanto, he's completely unmarked and can drive absolutely anywhere on the map. So as soon as you get him, immediately head to the pizza restaurant in Little Haiti, I think it is. Yeah, Little Haiti. Because that's where he spawns. So you want to, hopefully he'll be around there, but it's entirely possible that you can just fail the mission at this point, purely because he's just riding around somewhere and there's nothing you can do about it, sadly. Yeah, I failed this mission a bunch of times, like more than halfway through. This shit took me like 9 hours to do, including all attempts, because the game is just so long. So Casper Ghost is where you are going to want to use the tank, because this guy is invisible on his bike, and the bike has a ridiculous amount of health. But if you use the tank, he's not collision proof. So you can just take him on his fixed path. He rides in a circle around. And you can also do it with this guy as well. He's in a bulletproof vehicle. But again, it's not explosion proof. So you can just predict their path and go and slaughter them. The previous guy that we dealt with now gives you 5 stars. So you need to be very, very careful. Carl Pearson, or whatever his name is, comes back for revenge. So what I did was I stored my tank in between each attempt, and then came up onto the Hyman Condo rooftop here because you're completely safe from all the police. And then you've got a helicopter to escape with as well. So this person is the second to last target here. They're in apartment 3C. If you're playing this, you won't hear it on this, but there's a jump scare in here because lol loud equals funny. You go in here and it makes a screaming sound, and then this person appears. So just kill them. They die really easily. And then the final one is just on here, and this is the first target of the vanilla mission on the billboard. Yes, you did it. Holy shit. That, as I say, it makes it look really easy when you look at it like that, doesn't it? But trust me, it isn't. That is by far the worst mission you will ever do. If you want to see me doing that, like, you know, raw, like a full, like, hour-long attempt, then you can find it on my VoDs channel, which is eBen Archive, where you can see my entire playthrough of this mod, and all 9 hours worth of attempts. So once we're finally out of the way of Autocide, we are going to deal with the final 2 payphone missions. We started this chain all the way back at the start of the video, but we're finally getting it done now. And this one, the only big difference is that it takes place in the army base, and that you get 5 stars when you kill the lady. So you head to the army base, you snipe the lady, sorry, not the lady, the person who the lady's talking to, and you have to get the briefcase from the top of the tower, and then fight your way out, which is quite easy. There's only a couple of army guards and stuff that spawn. And then all that I did was I grabbed the Patriot out there that you can see outside the front, used that to drive over to the VCPD helicopter, and then just use that to fly to the mall, which is where we need to do it. Because for some reason, the end of the mission is at the other mall for some reason. I don't know why, but there you go. Nice and easy. Final one, we're going to use this classic place. You'll remember it from the job if you watched the or partook in the Malibu missions. We're going to park a helicopter there deliberately because we're going to use it in just a second. It's kind of far away, but if you park it anywhere closer, it'll despawn. And we're going to have to fight our way through a massive compound. But the problem is that we only have a minute to do it, and that's not nearly enough time. So instead, we're going to take our helicopter and fly all the way up and skip, because we need to get up to the roof, so we can just fly up to the roof, right? That's the idea. So don't head onto the roof with the package just yet, or the briefcase, because they'll just slaughter you. So just use this instead, and use this little, you know, the rooftop ahead of time to take them all out. You only have to take out the ones on the roof. And then you can fly your helicopter onto the roof, but there isn't really much point. You're better off just jumping across, because there's literally a Maverick right there waiting for you. In Titan Vice, it explodes when you get up there, but it doesn't happen in Hardlined. So you can actually just use it to fly away. So I'm like scoping the area, and then I'm like, I mean, I can just leave. So I ended up just jumping over. Nice little sprint jump will get you there. And then, yeah, we just need to get it over to the helipad at the airport. There's no other shenanigans here. Once you've skipped all the fight at the start, you're basically home free. So this mission is a real doozy. This is one that I actually couldn't figure out how to complete at all. Not only is it brutally difficult, but once you get to a certain point in the mission, the game will just crash no matter what you do. And it still isn't fixed to this day, so even if you download the mod, it hasn't been patched since I played this like months ago, because the developer just isn't really interested in patching crashes, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's one of those classic GTA mod things where like they release a completely broken mod and then just never fix it and just expect everyone else to deal with it. So here you're forced into a really awkward first-person section where you've got to take out a ton of people with shotguns and really harsh weapons, and if you like miss any of them, you just get slaughtered basically. And also you need to start shooting at this hunter as soon as possible and prioritize it, because once you get to that certain point in the mission that I'll show you where it is later on, your game will crash if the helicopter has too much health. I actually had to get someone to look into the game files to actually look as to why the crash is happening. That's how ridiculously, like, stupid this mission is. Like, if you don't look into the game files, you won't know how to complete it. But yeah, so there's going to be a section later on with that helicopter, and if the helicopter is too high HP, then the game will crash, which is really, really stupid. It's supposed to explode. Basically, the idea is that you have a one-on-one with the helicopter later on. You see there, I blow it up early, but I'll show you when you're expected to blow it up. But yeah, you have a 1v1 with the helicopter, and it's either you die or they die. That's the idea. It's right here around where this is where it would be. The helicopter would spawn here, and if the helicopter spawns and you don't blow it up, which isn't possible if you haven't been shooting it ahead of time, because why would you? There's nothing in the game that tells you to shoot at the helicopter. It looks like it's invincible. But yeah, if you don't shoot it ahead of time and blow it up before that section, your game will just crash because it's expecting the helicopter to explode, but it doesn't. So the game crashes, which is really great. So yeah, you're not going to get through here with much more than like 1 HP, purely because of just how ridiculously overtuned everybody is and how hard it is to hit people going this fast on a boat with such a shit weapon. So just do your best. It's a ton of trial and error. It's a ton of bullshit. But luckily, once you get out through here, you're pretty much scot-free, because you pull up onto a boat, onto like the Cortez's yacht, and you've got to fight, grab a package, and then take it back to the cafe, and that is way easier than this auto-scroller segment. So once you're done with this, the mission is basically in the bag. As you can see, I was very, very cautious here because it had taken me so long to get to this point that the last thing I wanted to do was fail the mission. And also, you can see me messing about with my mouse sensitivity as well, because for some reason in this mod, the first-person mode is very bugged. I had to use like 100 DPI in order to do like the auto-scrollers. For reference, I play 800 DPI usually. It's completely broken. So yeah, you need to grab the briefcase here and then head around to the back, and you can climb up the stairs, kill a few more guys, and then grab the briefcase there. And then Anti-Pole comes after you in like a fucking submarine or something to try and like, shoot torpedoes at you. So you just need to get the hell away on a boat. And what I did was I took the boat nearby, the reefer that spawns that you can see in a few seconds. And then I drove to the film studios, because the film studios is quite nearby. And there's a place where you can just beach the boat and get onto land, which you want to do as soon as possible, right? And then once you're on land, you can go and drive over to the the VCN helicopter, and then fly that back to the cafe. That's what I did. So finally finishing up the Cuban missions here. Trojan Voodoo is very, very epic, just like all these missions are. So you actually don't need to wait for the gates and stuff to open and fuck about going around the back here like the game wants you to. You can just hop over, and as long as Rico comes with you, which he usually does because he usually teleports, here he got stuck, so I just need to go back and get him. But you can actually trigger it from the other side. It's not a big skip or anything, but it just saves you going round. So make sure, sorry, Pepe, not Rico, because Rico dies in the last mission canonically. Make sure he's with you, and then you can just stand here like this and look in a certain way, and Tommy's hitbox will go through, so you can trigger it from the inside. Now, I would recommend using the Spaz 12, because you need to keep Pepe alive, So I'm just going to juggle these guys, basically. They infinitely spawn. I don't know if that's true, actually. Maybe it's I don't know if it's time-based, how long this takes, or if it's kills-based. I'm not sure. But as you can see, I just keep mobile. Anyone that goes for Pepe, I shoot them. And just use my health as a resource and Pepe's health as a resource as well to just keep tagging them. Obviously, the Spaz 12 is really good because you can knock them over even if you don't kill them. And when they're on the ground, they can't possibly shoot you, right? It is possible to get a high wanted level here. As you can see, I got a 3-star wanted level. And it is also possible for cops to spawn in the compound and start shooting at you. So keep an eye out for those as well. Don't flick your camera too much because you'll start spawning them. But aside from that, you just literally juggle these guys. It's not too bad. It only took me a couple of tries. And then you've got the same for Rico as well. He comes down. I guess he's not canonically dead in this. There's both of them that you got to defend. Just make sure that you don't accidentally shoot them because friendly fire is very much on. I had it a few times where I shot my own teammates by mistake. And yep, just keep juggling. And then once you've done this section, you can actually take a break. And there's no time limit or anything. But you're going to have to fight into the compound. So make sure that you've got like full health and everything before you start the next segment. So once you've gone back and fully healed and stuff, now you can head through. Don't worry about these guys. They're mostly fighting each other, so you don't really need to worry about it. Just watch for the cops that are coming after you. And then just slowly peek your head out and kill these guys. Again, they're very accurate and very tanky, so just make sure that you play nice and slow. You've made it this far, so there's no point in taking unnecessary risks. Watch out for the cops. But as you can see, like none of them are particularly a massive threat. The AI don't really react to you. You've just got to watch out for the gates and stuff because the hitboxes can kind of screw you over. But aside from that, it's just picking people off and planting the bombs. Just make sure that obviously when you plant the first bomb, a timer will start before you need to plant the rest of them. So just make sure that you've cleared the place out completely before you plant the first bomb. Holy shit, it's time for the last mission. I thought it would never come. So the first thing you want to do is come out and it's difficult to explain this in the short amount of time that we have. But you need to run out to the right here and chill here. And you need to kill those two guys that I killed because they're running to go and get the money from the safes. There's one up in the corner, up at the top there, top middle of the screen. And then there's one in the little office down there, down at the bottom. And the guy at the bottom is the guy that you need to prioritize. Every now and again, there will be people going into the safe to steal money. You need to make sure that you kill him, at least the first one, because if they start siphoning money, eventually you'll run out of money and you'll fail the mission, right? So as you can see, I'm running in here to make sure that he doesn't do it. If you do miss him, you can run down. But the big thing about this mission that makes it absolutely fucking absurd is that everybody who spawns, their health is random, the weapons that they have are random, and their accuracy is also random. So if you get a guy here who spawns in with 100% accurate Spaz 12, you're just dead. 100% accurate M4, dead. 100% accurate M60, dead. You get the idea, right? Like, you can just fail this mission over and over again due to bullshit that isn't your fault. But if you sit in the corner, you'll avoid most of them. And as long as you just pick off the guys who are going for the safes, you should be okay. It shouldn't take too long. And now it's just, again, a battle of attrition. We need to deal with Lance. We're almost out of this. We can stay strong. He sets that bit on fire. The game can just randomly crash there for no reason. That happened a bunch of times to me. But we need to fight our way up to Lance. The important thing to remember is that the health and armor and stuff in the mansion is there. They've all been removed everywhere else, but here they are readily available. So make sure to make good use of it. It'll keep spawning in as well, so it's free heals. Why not use it? So all these guys, they're equally lethal. I'm not sure if they have random properties. I don't remember. But the important thing is that we just need to clear these guys out. And before we start the Lance section, I would heavily recommend healing down at the bottom. Lance has an absurd amount of health. He has a ton of guys that spawn around him as well. And he also is ridiculously accurate. Like, he will destroy you. So he has like kind of two phases that he switches between. And you'll see them here. The first phase is him shooting at you with the M4. I would strongly recommend blowing up all of these barrels while you're here, because obviously otherwise he can shoot them. But as you can see, he takes such little damage. So he has the two phases there. The first phase that you saw was him shooting at you with the M4. And then the second phase is he runs at you with Molotovs and throws them at the ground. So during that second phase, do not even try and attack him. Just run away. Just like kite him around, basically. And then when he starts coming to the M4, after he throws like 4 or 5 Molotovs, duck below one of the barrels like this and use it to basically like, head glitch him, if you're familiar with Call of Duty. Then when he pulls out the Molotovs, run and kite and rinse and repeat. Now, another bullshit mechanic in this, which people have told me, which I kind of find it hard to believe, but also at the same time I kind of don't, is during this mission, the mission script will actually force you to uncrouch during certain times. So if you saw during them when I was fighting Lance, I was actually crouched behind the barrel and the mission stood me up to try and kill me. How ridiculous is that? Absolutely absurd. You get all the way through here and then the mission script forces you to die by face tanking Lance. Absolutely ridiculous. Taking away control from the player and getting them killed is so fucking unfair. If that is real, if that's a genuine thing, then that is just such a slap in the face. Anyway, once you're done with Lance, you are almost done. Massive congratulations for making it this far. Even if you're just watching, I very much appreciate you watching this very long video. It took a very long time to make, so hope at least some people made it to the end. Final boss fight with Sonny. There isn't really much to talk about with Sonny. He has an M60 and will absolutely fucking annihilate you if you face tank him, so do not do that. Use the fact that you are on top and he is on the bottom of like the staircase to basically clear out everybody around him and then just like use grenades and like basically like splash damage him to death. That's what I did. If you need to heal, again, you can heal at the bottom. But yeah, do not face this guy head on. Just like throw grenades down, rockets, whatever you've got. But as you can see, he takes such little damage that it takes a very long time to kill him. And it's difficult to even see where he is. But if you step out, he'll one-shot you, like 100%. He'll kill you in like 4 bullets because the M60 is so fucking strong. So do what I did here. Just use your like camera to see where he is. And then use the splash damage. And all that I did was I ran between like this. And just ran up and down the corridor. Whenever I had a good angle on him, I'd shoot him with the M4 a little bit, kill some more of his goons, pick him off, and then if I took any damage, I would go and run down and heal. Again, also, if you run out of ammo or anything, there's an M4 as well and a shotgun that you can use. The M4 is very, very useful, as you can see here. I used it to take down the entirety of Lance's health and most of Sonny's as well. As you can see, I've got him down to like a third here. But as soon as he starts getting into a position where he could shoot me, I immediately run back to the other side. And if he ever gets any shots off on me, like this, I immediately run. I got lucky there to not die, honestly. So yeah, it's one of those things. Immediately run, go and heal, come back again. And if you get a good angle on him with grenades, you can just stun lock him with grenades as well. Make sure that you keep an eye on these people. They infinitely respawn, his goons. And they will also mess you up if they get into position. So just kill them while they're running there. And then, yeah, once you don't have don't have a decent anchor on Sonny again, either reposition or just throw grenades until you kill him. Eventually, I just say fuck it and just throw grenades, and I kill him eventually. And yeah, once Sonny is dead, that will be the end of Vice City Hardlined. Every single mission completed. If you made it this far, even if you're just watching, first of all, if you've done even any missions in this game, congratulations, because this mod is absolutely ridiculous. You'll never find a bigger challenge than this, trust me. But if you were just here to watch along and have fun, then I very much appreciate you being here as always. Thank you, just in general, for all the support that you always give. You in particular, yes, you listening right now. All the support that you give me on this huge YouTube channel. I'm messing up my words. I'm so incredibly grateful I can't speak. But yes, thank you so much for being here. I very much appreciate it. There will be many more guides like this in the future. We're going to do one for GTA Frosted Winter, for Early Redemption, Sindako Chronicles, you name it. When they come out, I'll be the first to cover them. You know where I am. Okay, thanks for watching again. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Had a disagreement with a business associate. You know how it is.
Tommy, I have a disagreement. I send them an angry letter. Maybe I pee in their mailbox. I don't start World War III. You know, maybe you should speak to my shrink.
That stupid prick Lance.
Tommy, I never liked that guy, okay? He's neurotic, he's insecure, he's self-centered. The guy's an asshole. I'm glad you took him out.
I don't think we're gonna be getting any more heat from up north either. Because there ain't no up north anymore. It's all down south now.
Wait, does that mean what I think it means? Tommy, baby!
What do you think it means?
That we're in charge. I mean that you're in charge. Oh, Tommy!
You know, Ken, I think this could be the beginning of a beautiful business relationship. After all, you're a conniving, backstabbing, two-bit thief, and I'm a convicted psychotic killer and drug dealer.
I know. Ain't it just beautiful?